Today, I asked the question, can you beat the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster by following every word of this 20-year-old official game guide? That means playing the game as the developers originally intended, having a set order of quests to complete, performing hidden objectives, and finding interesting secrets that you didn't even know existed. From character creation, the main campaign, factions, DLCs, and everything in between. I used the game guide to decide every course of action to see if I can play Oblivion as Bethesda truly intended, deciding once and for all if this game is as good or even better than my all-time favorite game, Skyrim. Earlier this year, more credible leaks started to emerge about an Oblivion remaster being shadow dropped on Game Pass. Wow. So, on a gamble, I went searching eBay until I found this game guide, purchased it, and I waited. After some more months passed and leaks started to drop, with this game's existence starting to become more and more likely, I got to work, researching this book from front to cover, and trying my best to learn everything I could, all while not spoiling any of the story elements. And from release, it was go time. I played Oblivion like a full-time job, and recorded every second I spent in Cyrodiil. Bruh. To play this remaster as authentically to the book as possible, I followed a set of simple rules throughout my journey. Each action we take in this game will only be as the book described, and sometimes that means doing something that I didn't want to do, or even make sense at the time. Sometimes it would involve me running past a bunch of enemies, lying and stealing from certain NPCs, or even using a particular spell to fight a particular enemy. I also only followed the quests in order they were presented to me within the book. That means completing all of the campaign, the factions, and other storylines before I could even think about exploring. And finally, immersing myself as much as possible within this world Bethesda has created, by reading any lore the game guide highlighted, paying attention to the story and the world, and not exploiting any of the numerous in-game mechanics. But the way the game guide carries you through this journey is actually really unique and fun, and by the end of the adventure, gave me a much deeper love for Oblivion, and made me appreciate not only Bethesda games, but that whole 360 era of gaming in a whole new way. So, where else should we start, other than the beginning? Where this time we've swapped snowy horse carriage rides and memes for a dirty prison cell and Patrick Stewart.
We're doing cocaine!
This game guide is daunting. And immediately the book has a slew of recommendations, different types of classes you can pick, ways you can play, and the best choice for what type of player the book thinks you may be. I decided that for this playthrough, I would stick with the tried and true pure combat warrior with magic support build that the book recommended for all new players. And although I have played a lot of RPGs and Bethesda games, Oblivion was one I truly knew nothing about, and thus picked a male orc I lovingly named Baggy.
Please kill me.
The book does do a good job, emphasizing that you can really play however you want, and that these builds are merely a draft of your overall character outline. I decided I want to try and be as authentic as possible within this playthrough, with the book recommending that I stick with bladed weapons, magical support spells, and a strong use of alchemy.
I sure hope this guy doesn't get assassinated.
So, Baggy found himself landed in the Imperial City Jail. What he did and who he was before all this doesn't matter anymore, and from this point onwards, Baggy's impact on the world of Tamriel would be all that matters. That's at least what the Emperor of Tamriel believed, as he barged into my cell with this guarded entourage and opened up a secret passage from my cell leading into these catacombs below. The Emperor regarded Baggy as the person from his dreams.
What's all this now? Why are we stopping?
And suggested that I follow him. Not one to pass up a good time with an old man in a cave, I followed him through and battled my way through rats, assassins, goblins, and zombies as I learnt the mechanics and controls of this remaster.
Oh, rat! Oh! Kill it!
After quickly realizing this game is not going to be like Skyrim, I started looking into the book for insights, and immediately I was met with some interesting ideas on how to approach certain areas. For instance, the book is adamant that in the beginning, you should try and avoid combat with the assassins and let the guards do the work.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I got it.
It enforces the fact that you will need to make gold, but for now, shouldn't worry about taking any of the assassin's gear. It also shows locations of hidden chests it wants you to grab, buckets it wants you to show who's boss.
How's it feel? Bitch.
And it wants me to grab everything I can when it comes to potion making. A trend I will be following a lot in this video. It wasn't until I got separated from the Emperor and his guard that I learned just how different of a playthrough this was going to be.
Right, so now there should be a goblin I can trick into going through its own trap. Got him. Yeah. It worked.
This moment right here, was the one that made me confident in this journey. Because instead of activating the trap and just killing one goblin, the book wants you to make a beeline through the camp, aggro all the goblins, and then crush them with this log trap.
Alright, so this is the log trap. So they're saying that, yeah, I should be able to go down here, gather them all. Hello. There you go. Including the shaman. And then activate. That didn't do a lot. That's what I'm talking about.
The next encounter had me meet back up with the Emperor and his guard, but the book had already planned for this. It wanted me to pick up a bow and use it to help defeat the assassins from the high ground.
I can't see and or aim.
I then spoke to the Emperor, who told me that he saw his death in his own dreams. After this conversation, the book wanted me to run ahead and try and reveal the assassins early, but still not engage with them in combat.
Nice. I helped this time.
Once completed, the Emperor spoke to me once more about his visions, and that I was meant to take an amulet known as the Amulet of Kings to a person named Joffrey, as he was just then assassinated by the mythic Dawn assassin.
No! Oh my god.
Setting in motion the events of the rest of my adventure, just as his dream predicted. After explaining the situation, I got to choose my class sign for my selected class, the Warrior. And then I fought my way through the sewers, stopping to make sure I was picking up every ingredient I could and saving at the gate exit, so as the book says, I can come back and make another character if I choose to. And just like that moment in Skyrim, when you escape the cave in Helgen, or in Fallout when you leave the vault, I left the sewer and was met with the beautiful view and the promise of an entirely new Bethesda game to explore.
God damn. This is it, huh?
It's at this point, where the open world and the main story intersect, that I should really explain how this book wants me to approach this game, and especially how the book differs from its Skyrim counterpart. Although like any game, you can truly play in whatever way you'd like, the guide strongly recommends that I follow the structure it provides, only detouring when requested. So that meant completing the entire main story, fighters, mages, thieves, and Dark Brotherhood quest lines, the arena, Deadric Quests, before I could even start exploring. But I found that, throughout my time, the parts in the book that wanted me to take breaks from continuing the story and level up were the most rewarding.
Bro, Cyrodiil actually sucks.
So, back on track. Baggy was sent to deliver the Amulet of Kings to a monk in the Waynon Priory. Here, the book even suggested that despite having the ability to fast travel anywhere in the world, which is fucking crazy by the way, I should truly try and appreciate everything by approaching on foot and sticking to the main path.
Hello? You bad? Oh, you guys are bad.
However, the guide wanted me to make a couple pit stops along the way for some more gear, a level up, and some money. Starting with this Ayleid ruin just ahead of me, I dispatched the bandits,
Oh, fuck.
napped in their tents, and I leveled up, ensuring I followed the recommended skills of my class. After that, I explored the sinkhole cave along the way, cleared it, and used it as a makeshift home for the night.
So I'm gonna find that bed, and I'm gonna do some sleepies.
Carrying on to the next day, I stopped at the Yellow Tick Cave also, for some bonus gear and experience,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Chill. Chill.
putting me in a prime position to reach my location. Still making sure to follow the road and pick up as many main ingredients as I can along the way. Once I made it to the monastery, the guide recommended I go inside and read some important lore books scattered around. The guide insisted that from here on out, I need to pay attention to books where I can, to get a deeper understanding of the Elder Scrolls universe and enhance my enjoyment. It also wanted me to read the monk's personal letters to his mum, like just for lols or some shit, and a newspaper to learn more about the Emperor's importance to Tamriel. After finishing those books, I spoke to the main man the Emperor had me go find, Joffrey, who informed me of my next task.
Man, this guy is so dead.
Joffrey told me that he used to be a leader of the Blades, a specific faction devoted to protecting the Emperor, and that he alone knew the location of the last heir to the throne of the Empire. You see, we need someone with the Emperor's bloodline to use the Amulet of Kings to become the Emperor. Or something. I don't know. Look, the book was telling me a lot, and I was sort of reading it and trying to put it all together, and I struggled, okay? But that was the gist. Here, the monk told me that I'm looking for a person named Martin, who is currently living in Kvatch. He warned me to hurry because if the Daedra learned of Martin's whereabouts, he would surely be the next to be assassinated. Joffrey, the fucking goat, also offered me a bunch of gear, armor, and weapons to help me on my journey. The guide specifically wants us to take and equip this armor, stating that on our journey so far, this will be the best thing we would have come across. From here, I set off. However, I still had some book tidbits I needed to discover. Book asked me to speak to another monk in the home to receive a skill book that would give me a permanent bonus to my block skill. It also recommended that I speak to the night elf in the stables and ask for help, in which he would give me one of my very first armor repair hammers, a tool that's incredibly useful. And it gave me access to my new steed, a paint horse I would soon lovingly name Craig.
Oh shit, my horse. What the fuck, imps?
Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start.
Jesus, are you alright?
From here, Craig and I followed the road west, careful not to stray too far from the objective. After a short time, I found myself outside of the Kvatch city proper. And well, let's just say, shit got real.
Does this place always have lava?
Apparently, Daedra started coming out of this portal and have destroyed almost the entire city. I spoke to some concerned NPCs who pretty much told me to run for my life. But the guide had other plans. Specifically, it wanted me to sleep in a tent nearby and level up. After doing so, I made my way closer to Kvatch, where I found a small army of city guards waiting outside of this hellish portal.
Jesus, holy shit. That's creepy as fuck.
The guard here told me that Martin was in the chapel within the city, but before I go and speak to him, this random level 3 orc, needs to go inside this literal portal of hell by myself and close it from the inside. Side note, this portal, by the way, it looks fucking sick. 10 out of 10. Like, look how cool that is. It's fucking awesome. And thus started my adventure of saving the city of Kvatch from the brink of hell.
Whoa, this place looks sick.
So, with the odds stacked against him, apparently in Bethesda's eyes, literal hell was still better than prison, because Baggy had no issues just jumping in and seeing what awaited him on the other side. Like seriously, my man didn't question it. The guards were like, hey, you wanna go in this portal? And he was like, yep, say less. He was met with this red, barren wasteland surrounded by lava and brimstone, with this dark, ominous tower like looming over in the distance. Oh, and there was a guy that went missing. Yeah, the guard here, we found him. That's him. He went missing, he went in the portal, but we got him. I forgot his name, but old mate and I had to try and close this portal together.
Oh, the trees are... Everything here wants to kill me.
This is what the book described as an Oblivion gate, and the guide wanted me to get used to this setting and layout because there would be plenty more around the open world after this one. Trust me, I know. The guide actually had a plan of action on how best to approach this gate.
What is this, like a trip mine?
The book recommended that instead of fighting tougher Daedra head on, we'd loop around the side and see if we could avoid a fight altogether. Also, and say it with me now guys, picking up any ingredients we find along the way. Once old mate and I battled our way inside, avoiding the Bridge of Death, and the Daedra, we were in. Now keep in mind, although I have the book guiding me through the entire adventure, the way I took notes and read it was only for the bits I needed when I approached them. So, a lot of this game was unspoiled for me, and my reactions and experiences were coming from a Skyrim fan who has never actually played Oblivion.
Whoa, shit. Bruh, we chose the wrong direction. The book didn't warn me about this.
So in saying that, I thought this tower was fucking awesome. In fact, I got really into killing, to the point where I sort of let old mate die.
My bad, pimp.
But the book said nothing about this guy's survival, so I guess his death was fair game. I made my way through and found another guard who was seemingly trapped near the top of the tower. I also tried to save him, but he insisted that there was no time.
Quickly, there's no time. You must get to the top of the large tower. The sigil keep, they call it. That's what keeps the Oblivion gate open.
I made my way through the locked door, battled through the spire axe in hand, and found the sigil stone, a magical object somehow keeping this gate open.
Nice. Do we win? Is Oblivion over? Did we save the day?
Once I collected it, I was teleported back to where I entered, to the applause and worship of the remnants of Kvatch. I, Baggy, single-handedly saved the motherfucking day. Level 3 orc, motherfuckers. But my job wasn't done yet, and here's where the book's instructions played an important part. Martin, my quest objective, was inside the chapel, and in theory he was all I needed to extract, but the guidebook and the Kvatch guards wanted me with them to help take back the city and continue the Kvatch questline.
That wasn't much of a siege, bro. It was like 3 dinosaurs.
We wiped the bastards out.
So I went inside, I spoke to Martin,
What do you really want with me? I said you weren't going to like it.
casually dropped the bomb that he is the secret bastard child of the Emperor, that Daedra are planning to invade the world, have killed his father, his half-brothers, and all these people in Kvatch were killed because the Daedra were looking for him.
Oh my god!
And then continued on my merry way to save what's left of the city. Here I pushed the courtyard with the boys, fighting through more Daedra, but we got stuck at the gate to get into the castle.
The gates are locked, and the only way to open them is from within the gatehouse.
The main captain told me to go back inside the chapel and try and find a way to the barracks. Once I entered the chapel again, a group of fucking Chad Imperial Legion soldiers came in and offered me help with my infiltration. So off we went, clearing more Daedra, till we found the key and snuck into the courtyard. There, I ran for my life, opened the main gates, and let loose the NPC dogs of war.
Open the gate. Let's go, boys. Oh, shit. A lot of boys are dead. Oh, my lord.
It was a brutal battle. Many of the Chad NPCs got annihilated.
Oh, fucking... No, Burrich! Oh, man.
But after clearing the inner court, I had to go inside the castle and find any survivors. And spoiler alert, there were none. But I did find the place where this iconic Flame Atronach battle took place. I went back outside and received my reward, along with the thanks of the guards for saving the city of Kvatch.
I don't feel that rewarded, though.
And now was on my way back to see how Martin was handling this newfound news.
Bro, don't stress about the amulet. It's perfectly safe.
How was Martin handling the news? Yeah, not well.
An entire city destroyed to get at me? Why?
Because Martin reveals that the Wayne Priory, the place where the monks and the amulet are now, would most likely be their next target, and that we must go there at once. Here, the book for the first time insists that I fast travel to my location because time was very much not on our side. Once we arrived, I saw one of the monks being chased by a Daedra. I defended our monk guy,
Mystic Agent Frick.
and he told me that the Priory was lost, and that Joffrey was in the chapel. Here, the book directed me in a couple different ways. First, to speak to Martin and enlist his help in the fight.
I'm with you.
Alright, follow me.
The book stated that although the survival of Martin and Joffrey was paramount, the Daedra inside would be too distracted by 3 people. It also wanted me to specifically use the scroll I received from Joffrey's chest earlier against said Daedra.
There you go.
Then mop up what's left of him quickly with my weapon.
You're back. Thank Talos.
After that was done, we headed back inside to find that the Amulet of Kings has been taken.
Taken it. The Amulet of Kings is gone.
Oh, that's
the
not
enemy
great.
has defeated us at every turn.
Joffrey insisted that he knows somewhere that's safe, but also we would still need to protect Martin. The book wanted me to escort this duo to our new base of operations.
We should get moving. I won't rest easy until Martin is safe at Cloud Ruler Temple.
I agree, so let's go.
Here is where I can tell you, hands down, this was the worst part of my entire playthrough. 70 hours, okay? This was the worst part. On one hand, it's probably my fault because I accidentally went the wrong way, despite both the game guide and the game telling me to go the other way.
Oh, we could have gone that way.
And on the other hand, it was because of this fucking shitty 2006 AI that was driving me nuts.
Alright, you killed the rat. Good job. Really, my guy? Really, my guy? Every time. It's a wolf. It's a fucking wolf. Just keep up. I'm like fucking babysitting. I know you're like the emperor and you're like also important, but we got shit to do. He's not even getting on the horse. Why?
I mean, look at this. I was losing my mind.
I'm gonna fucking commit a... Holy shit. Turn around!
But after way too long, we made it to Cloud Ruler Temple,
Oh my god, we made it. Holy fucking shit.
the last known stronghold of the Blades, and my new home for the foreseeable future.
Blades are waiting to greet you.
I love how he's just like, yeah, you're the emperor now. And like, he hasn't questioned it. He's like, alright, okay.
As a reward, Joffrey offered me some new gear that was even better than the stuff I had before, with the book even being adamant that I should sell all of my old gear that Joffrey gave me earlier right away. So after leveling up, and messing around with the inventory, I was off to Bruma to make some bands.
What do you mean I can't have the book?
It's at this point, about 6 hours in, that I really started to understand how this game works and what the book was trying to help me achieve. That realization didn't even fully hit until I tried to sell my gear. That was the first time the book directed me to enter the city and interact with its people.
What? Oh, you only take those things. That's fucking annoying.
When I went to sell my gear, it all ended up being worth nothing, but by then I had naturally wandered into Bruma. I heard some rumors about potential quest lines, and most importantly, I learned a little bit about the bartering and persuasion systems, all without the book outright telling me how.
Well, they want me to sell this armor, and it feels like a waste. It only gives me 1 gold. I'm never gonna use this. Let's sell that. Motherfucker, bro, he ripped me off. He's selling that for 1400? Oh, bro, that's actually tragic.
My quest at this point was to meet back up with a blade I encountered earlier in the prison, to see if he had any intel on the Mythic Dawn cult that assassinated the Emperor and stole the amulet. After unloading my gear, I continued along the main road and made a couple of guide-recommended pit stops to gain more experience and collect better loot.
This looks like some weird Unreal Engine 5 demo game. Does it feel real? Drown, bitch. They can swim. The wolves can swim. Ah! Yeah, come on, you want some? You want some of this? Jump down here, I fucking dare.
The first was this bandit cave called Saccharin? It doesn't matter, I killed them all.
Fuck you. You move like you're dead.
You move like a pregnant cow.
I've had enough of people saying I move like a fucking pregnant animal.
Then I hit 2 nearby forts on the way to my next objective.
Fort Caracatus. Am I gonna have to murder a bunch of fucking just old men? Can't men have hobbies? It was explained to his wife. It's like, oh, honey, I'm hanging out at my fort this week with the boys. It's like marriage is on the rocks. His kids fucking hate him. But you know, when it's the boys' weekend at the fucking Fort Caracas, shit goes down.
Once those locations were cleared, I found myself once again burdened with loot. Fortunately, the blade member I was searching for was in the heart of Tamriel, the Imperial City.
Wow!
It might be nostalgia talking, but I vividly remember the first time entering Riverwood, fighting a dragon outside a Whiterun, or walking through Solitude and watching old mate get whacked.
Back to it.
Oblivion hadn't given me any of those moments, outside of maybe the sewer bit, until now.
Hello.
Stop!
Ah,
You
fuck.
violated the law.
Fucking arrest me. I'm here now, whatever. You really robbed me of my Solitude moment.
The Imperial City was huge. Seeing it in the distance as I approached was both daunting and beautiful.
This is what it's all about, right? Look at that.
I'm gonna come.
I explored various districts and eventually made my way to a tavern where Barrius, the Blade informant, was waiting.
Guy in the corner behind me will follow me. You'll be my backup. You follow him.
I don't know if Barrius is his name, how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm calling him.
You'll find Boris at Luther Broad's boarding house in the Elven Gardens.
The guide instructed me to sit next to him and strike up a conversation. Barrius revealed that he was currently being tailed and told us to wait in the bar before following him into the basement. After a few moments, sure enough, a sussy looking guy followed him in. By the time Baggy reached the basement, a fight had already broken out. The book suggested that I handle this combat using ranged spells. Why? I'm not entirely sure, but it didn't matter much. We updated Barrius on the situation, and he told us about a series of books about the cult that could help shed some light on where they may actually be keeping the amulet. However, the 3rd and 4th book in this series are super rare, but he has a lead on a bookstore in town that might actually have a copy. At the bookstore, I hit a snag. The shopkeeper had already sold the 3rd book to someone else, and the buyer was expected to pick it up soon. So the book gave me several options on how to proceed. If I had a high sneak and security skill, I could locate the book in the shop, pick the lock in the chest, and just steal it. I could try and persuade the buyer to give me the book, either through bribery, intimidation, or charm, or I could just follow the buyer and either pickpocket him or just kill him straight up and take the book. What option do you guys think I chose? Put your answers down below in the comments, okay? As you can see, I didn't really get far with those other approaches, so I rewrote the multiverse a little bit and went with the easiest option.
I don't want anything else to do with the Mythic Dawn.
Wow, it was just that easy.
I told this poor elf outright that the books were linked to a cult that was responsible for the Emperor's assassination. As expected, he folded and handed me the book, but not before telling me about a meeting he arranged to buy the 4th book. Barrios and I entered the sewers through a sketchy looking well behind the city. Once again, we found ourselves ninja turtling our way past rats, zombies, and various ghouls until we reached our meeting room.
Oh man, you could walk up here, you don't have to walk through it, bro.
The book instructed me to stay hidden and take the high ground while Barrios made an exchange. It also warned me that we'd be ambushed regardless, so I needed to be ready. After getting caught a few too many times,
There is no way he fucking saw me there, but alright, fuck it.
I finally managed to stay stealthy enough to help Barrios get the drop on the attackers. We secured the 4th book and picked up some sick gear in the process.
No, none of this feels like the right way to go. Oh man, I don't know where the fuck I am or where I should be going or... What the fuck?
At this point, we were presented with the puzzle that required reading the in-game books to decipher the shrine's location.
T M. No. That all means nothing to me.
Luckily, the physical game guide just told me where it was.
I know what it is. Fuck you. It's the cemetery. It's the palace cemetery. Okay. Spoilers. I know where it is.
After a quick visit to the Mages Guild to gather some more info, I found an old tomb in the Imperial Cemetery that revealed the location of the Dagon Shrine, and hopefully soon, the Amulet of Kings.
Why aren't you running?
With the location of the amulet possibly discovered, I set off on foot across Cyrodiil to this ominous cave. The game guide recommended possible approaches to my mission: undercover or commando. Not wanting to get my orcish teeth kicked in, I decided to try the undercover approach, which luckily the book had pretty fleshed out. The idea was that I would sneak into the Mythic Dawn cult under the guise of wanting to become a new member, then steal the important tome and just walk out.
Easy peasy.
So I went inside and spoke to a member of the cult named Harrow, who was happy to let me in as long as I gave him all of my belongings. To counter that, the game guide suggested that in a flat area of the cave, I should just drop all of my belongings of value and pick it up at a later time. So, in what can only be described as just a straight up power move, Baggy dropped all of the gear onto the cold, hard cave floor and then spoke to Harrow and infiltrated the meeting.
Good day, sir. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Me, Baggy.
Just right in front of him. I just went there and went, boop, it's all gone, right in front of him. Then I'm like, here you go, have my shit. After being guided through, I made it to a large cave system with a large Deadric looking statue and a bunch of Mythic Dawn members surrounding an altar.
I'm a Catholic. Can I legally be here?
Here is the second phase of this undercover approach. The guide strongly recommended that I go kill the sacrifice, but then release him, steal the tome, and beeline it to the exit, picking up all my stuff I left at a later date. The plan was solid. I just had to work on the execution.
You have come to dedicate yourself to Lord Dagon's service.
Of course.
This
Love that guy.
act must
Just gonna... Hey, look, it's the book I need. I'm just gonna pick that up. As the book suggests, I'm gonna release the prisoner. I'm gonna grab that fucking book and I'm gonna beeline it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Sorry, don't mind me. Just gonna take that. Cool. Thank you. See you later. Look how many people are after me. Fucking, I ran into the same dead end twice. Ah! I'm on the floor. No, Maggie, no.
Once I released the prisoner, the book recommended I run out with him and get him to safety. But this Argonian Chad decided 1v30ing the cult with his fists made for a better midpoint climax in the narrative.
They're just beating him up. Yeah, he's just content with dying, so.
Because despite multiple timeline adjustments, this guy was committed to making this cave his tomb. This might be one of the few times the remaster differs from the original game. I think that the AI behavior and the NPCs are a bit off in this newer version, because the game guide is adamant that this man will flee for his life if you follow him, and he will lead you straight to the exit. And as a former game dev, that's me, editor, that's me. I'm the game dev. I gathered that some of the overhauled AI tweaks might have affected certain quest interactions. Nothing major, just small things like making a certain Argonian try and one-punch his way through certain doom.
I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow.
So I pretty much used our guy here as bait, and I ran. And I got very lost. A lot. Like I spent like 2 hours here.
Whoopity boop. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Who put dead ends in a cave?
Even clairvoyance was just confusing me.
Oh, it's fucking locked. Why is everything locked? Ah!
But after a while, and way longer than I like to admit on camera, I made it out of the cave.
Run, motherfucker, run. Run, Baggy, run. Go, Baggy. Oh, you're gonna die from full damage. Fucking hell. I think I lost. Sneak back in. Get our shit back. Kill her. Call it a day. No fucking way.
Picking up the gear I dropped earlier and beating Harrow to death for the rest of my ingredients and coins.
Didn't think I'd be back, did ya? Bludgeon this fucker. Hey, it's all of my things.
Baggy had survived, but we still weren't sure if this tome would have the answers we were looking for. So I returned back to Cloud Ruler Temple, battered, bruised, but victorious. By now, the book had become incredibly insightful and helpful along my journey, but I still had no idea just how crazy it got into the details, and how many solutions the game designers included until my next batch of missions.
Holy shit, man, this is so sus.
Another day in Tamriel, and another somewhat simple problem that only Baggy can fix. Cut that. Another day in Tamriel, and another simple problem that only Baggy could fix. After dropping off the tome, Martin informs me that Joffrey needs my help. Joffrey explains that there are 2 possible spies who have been seen lurking outside the temple walls, and it was up to me to investigate. The game guide comes into play again here, explaining both the intelligence gathering and surveillance approaches. Ultimately, the surveillance method is just the easier option. The book instructed me to stake out a particular set of rocks overlooking a Mundus stone between 10 PM and 12 AM. Sure enough, after waiting a bit, a couple of unsuspecting women appeared, standing silently in the darkness and staring up at the temple.
They don't look like they do anything, but clearly the game says they're spying, so...
By itself, nothing too suspicious. Women can have hobbies too.
Based.
But the book advised me to keep my distance and wait until midnight. At exactly 12 AM, one of the women walked away from the stone and headed towards a hideout.
There she is. Baggy, the naked electrical man.
I stealthily followed her and snuck into her house while she was completely unaware. Then I crept up behind her and killed her.
I do not fear death.
Well, you should, because you're dead.
Fortunately, I found a note detailing her orders to spy on the temple. Otherwise, this whole approach I just did would have been downright creepy and just damning. But with this confirmation, I have been completely justified and vindicated. On my way back, I made sure to take out the remaining trash and reported back to Joffrey, completing the mission.
What have you learned about the spies?
I learned they're dead.
Excellent work.
So far, I've found in this remaster that a lot of the nuanced ways you can approach questlines can be just completely missed or skipped.
You cannot escape the Master's vigilance.
Wait, what? Oh, what the hell?
It's wild that this whole approach could be entirely skipped by just following the quest markers. I'm not sure if original Oblivion's like that, guys, please let me know, but I just found it bizarre. Interactions and missions like these made me understand why people just speak so highly about the game and its quest design.
There's no way I actually have to destroy this, right?
After eradicating those spies, I headed back to Martin, who told me I need to get a hold of one of these pesky Deadric artifacts in order for him to proceed. According to the book, there are 15 of them, and up to this point, I haven't even come close to finding one. So, I consulted the game guide to figure out what I should do next. The guide states that realistically, any Deadric quest will do for this part of the main quest, but it also offered me a few suggestions that would be appropriate for my level. The book recommended the Shrine of Azura as my best option, due to its relatively easy completion and the fact that the artifact you receive isn't completely vital. Yeah, this quest destroys one of the 15 artifacts you bring to Martin, which, coming from like a Skyrim player and just like a modern gamer, sounds kind of fucking nuts.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a
Deadric artifact
to burn.
So, with that decided, I made my way to where the book said the Azura Shrine was.
It's a fucking Deadric shrine all the way out here. What are they worshipping?
And began my first official Deadric quest, while still technically progressing the main storyline. While I will go into more detail about Deadric quests once we naturally reach that section of the guide.
I got him. I got him. This is fucked up even for me.
The quest was pretty straightforward. I made my way to the shrine and persuaded a few of Azura's followers to give me information.
I can't believe it worked. I fucking did it, guys. I actually successfully persuaded someone.
They told me that I needed to make an offering of glow dust at night, and luckily for me, there were some will-o-wisps just down the road.
Oh, you're the fucking enemy, aren't you? You're the op.
Tough battle, but I got what I needed. I waited until nightfall and I made the offering. The Deadric Lord informed me that her followers had been turned into vampires in this other nearby cave, and they needed to be put to rest. I followed the guide's recommendation, stocked up on potions of cure disease and heals, and went in.
Okay, cool. I've already fucking contracted a disease. Okay, well, I better not waste all my fucking cure disease potions, because I'm gonna need them. I suck at this game. I actually suck at this game.
I cleared the cave and returned to the very pleased Deadric Lord, who rewarded me with the Azura's Star, an infinitely refillable Grand Soul Gem. Sounds super valuable and incredibly useful.
Azura's Star, I probably shouldn't sell that.
Definitely something that's gonna come in handy in these later parts and tougher parts of the game. So I immediately fast traveled back to Martin and gave him the Soul Gem so he could destroy it and continue the story.
Seriously, these Oblivion gates need to fuck off.
Guys, listen. You're never gonna believe what happened next, okay? Turns out those Oblivion gates that have been opening up all around Cyrodiil since Kvatch.
Plus there's a guy that wants me dead. And an Oblivion gate. And a wolf. I love walking out of this building and just greeted with hell. Oh, that's not fucking great. Hey, yo. Oblivion gate just appeared out of fucking nowhere.
Well, one's opened up right next to Bruma, which is low-key my home. And of course, now it's my responsibility as the hero of Kvatch to head back in there, kill some Daedra, and close the fucking portal. However, the book said that this wouldn't be so easy, and marked this quest as the perfect stopping point to explore the world, level up, and prepare for my upcoming trip to hell. With that in mind, I didn't want to aimlessly wander and start doing some meaningless side tangent.
This really is the Elder Scrolls experience. Spamming Y to get up a hill.
I also didn't want to immediately consult the book for my next move. I figured I'd keep it organic as I could, see what I could find within the limited areas that I've already explored. I decided I'd do 3 side quests and then tackle the Bruma Gate.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go from what we've done already. So I'd like to try this Spire and then this other quest I have in Bruma and then work from there and just see what quests we naturally come across as the book sort of wants.
The first thing that caught my eye was Frostcrag Spire. I mean, just look at this thing. What the fuck is it?
I want to know what that is, I'll be honest. That's fucking cool.
Todd Howard's, see that mountain over there?
That mountain is not just a backdrop. You can walk all the way to the top of that mountain.
Was repeated in my brain from the very moment I saw it on my way to the temple.
Is that the temple? Surely not.
The itch to explore had been impossible to ignore at this point. Like, what could this place actually be? Like, what could this place actually be? A dungeon? A new NPC with a quest? Like, some weird, unique landmark? I don't know, but I needed to find out. What I wasn't expecting, however, was this to be a fucking house. Like an actual house. Like, you can own this. I can own this whole fucking tower. I thought houses were only a Skyrim thing. I didn't know they were in Oblivion. So this blew my mind.
You expect me to believe that? What do I look like? I look like an idiot.
I don't care what you believe. Everybody just calm down. Get him off my land.
Nowhere in the book could I even find information about this stupid fucking spire. I flipped through every page of the physical guide. I checked the PDF version online and still nothing. Then I discovered a massive oversight. Something that would change this video from here on out. There are 2 game guides. Two of them. There's 2. One for the normal Oblivion and one for the Game of the Year edition. Because get this game has DLCs. Like, a lot of them. And I'm not joking when I tell you, I had no idea. I genuinely thought it was just horse armor. Like, that's the whole meme, right? Oblivion made the horse armor DLC. That's all I thought this was. And so now, not only did my video project get way bigger in scope, I also had 2 full expansions that I'd eventually have to follow like gospel. But that will be a story for a later time in this video. If not, then fuck this dog shit, fuck your ending, and fuck your DLC. Fuck you. For now, the Game of the Year guide didn't really reveal much other than the fact that I needed 14k gold to fully upgrade the house. After that weird realization, I figured I'd stick closer to home. I heard a rumor about a lady having issues with her ex and hidden treasure. Naturally, I broke into this poor lady's house and then rizzed her up to learn more.
I suppose I can
I hate her face. It is terrifying.
Her story? The ex used to rob and steal, dragged her into this mess, and eventually got caught, not before hiding his treasure and completely screwing her over. She wanted me to talk to him in prison, and try and convince him to reveal where he kept the stash. If I could get it, she'd split it 50-50 with me.
Is go to the Bruma Castle dungeons and speak to him for me. Convince him to tell you where the gold is, and then we split it.
Once I was at the cell, the ex's reaction was along the lines of go and get fucked. That's when I had the brilliant idea. Read the game guide. It told me the easiest way to get info was to pick the prisoner's cell lock right in front of the guard and just get arrested.
It's all over, lawbreaker.
And within the span of 2 minutes, I went from a free orc out here trying to rizz up the huzz to a convicted criminal serving a 5 gold bounty for tampering with government property. But now, as the ex's cellmate, I had suddenly become the most hardened inmate in all of Tamriel.
The way the guards tossed you in here, I can see you're no friend of theirs.
Plot twist, the lady with the big mouth might have not been telling the whole truth. According to him, she was the manipulative one who dragged him into this life. He told me to kill her and take her amulet as proof. Then he would finally reveal where the treasure was. Cool. I guess we're killing this lady now. Once again, the guide came through, pointing out the multiple ways I could handle this. While it doesn't always suggest the morally correct option, it does guide you to the most beneficial one. I could just steal her amulet, but the book tells me it's a decoy. I could kill her, but that's just risky and messy.
What if there was another way? What if he thought I was dead, but I wasn't?
The book told me to go back and reveal her ex's plot to kill her. She gladly handed over the amulet, hoping to double-cross him in return. You guys keeping up with this? I gave him the fake amulet, and he gave up the treasure's location. I walked out there expecting a quick grab, and bam! I ran into a Bruma gate guard who I met earlier. He wanted the treasure for himself. He had already gone and killed Big Mouth, and now I was the only thing standing between him and his rightful riches. So I killed the shit out of him.
Somebody call Big Justice, because I'm about to bring the boom.
And I found, drum roll please everybody, 40 gold. And some small valuables. 2 people died, and another man is rotting in prison for 40 gold. Inflation aside, like, what can I buy with 40 gold? Like carrots? Side note, this fucking treasure was right outside the town. Like, not even hidden. Like, what the fuck? It's just fucking out in the open. Like, there's snow and shit. Like, I could see it when I was walking to it. How did it take them years to find this shit? But hey, the book guide told me to do it. And just like that, I was already headed back to town for my next miscellaneous quest. Lifting the veil. I heard another rumor while in Bruma that the Countess needed help with something. After this emotional rollercoaster of whatever this last quest was, I was hoping for something a little bit more straightforward and most importantly, rewarding. I spoke to the Count and she told me she was looking for a special amulet lost to time in some undisclosed fort. I headed out into the wilderness and picked up the trail. There the guy told me to follow the road until I saw a statue that matched the one from the note I'd received earlier.
Okay, here's the Sentinel statue.
There, I faced mostly trolls and Mike Myers.
Whoa, what the fuck? What the hell?
The guy told me to find the special note on the skeleton for later in the quest. There, I fought through the cave and found a mini outdoor section with the ruined fort I needed.
And what the fuck is in this fucking cave? Bro, seriously, fuck off.
More ogres and more fighting until I finally made it inside. I found a friendly ghost and I gave him the note. He let me pass and retrieve the amulet.
King of the castle, king of the castle.
From there, I fast traveled back to Bruma and handed it over, and got a pretty solid ring as a reward. And with that, and nearly 2 hours later, I was finally ready to tackle the Bruma Gate. Yeah, that's right, this whole tangent is still part of the campaign. This adventure Baggy just went on is Elder Scrolls canon now. The book recommended that I enter the Bruma Gate solo at first and clear out the entrance. From there, I could do some light recon and try and figure out the best way to approach the Sigil Stone.
Looks like we can go across the bridge here. They said something about a U-shape across there, so I think we go this long way.
Once I had a solid plan, I returned to the overworld and spoke to the captain of the Bruma Guard. The plan? A small squad would follow the same path I scouted, in like a U-shape, rotating towards the central tower. Once inside, things started off well, but slowly, one by one, we dropped.
Get away from him, you bitch.
Eventually, it was just me and this last guy against the world. From there, we ascended the spire, removed the Sigil Stone, and finally closed the portal.
Drinks on me, boys. No shit. Just shits out the 2 dead ones. That's tragic.
During my time in hell, I also made sure to grab a Deadric sword because the guide said that I would need something very effective against ghosts later on.
This has to be the worst enemy in the game, hands down.
But later on to the book just meant right now, because after speaking to Martin, I was immediately sent off again. This time, to another fort, with the goal of retrieving the chess piece of Tiber Septim, a crucial part of our plan to recover the Amulet of Kings. So real quick, let's do like a story recap, okay? Because I've sort of been all over the place. The Emperor was assassinated by a Daedric cult. Baggy escaped prison. Said cult wants to open the plains of Oblivion and let their Daedric lord rule the world. That's bad. Oblivion can only be stopped by someone who can use the Amulet of Kings. The only person who can use it is Martin. Martin is safe, but we lost the amulet, and we believe it's being hidden within a Daedric realm. To open the portal to said realm, we're gonna need these certain ancient artifacts. So cool, you guys still with me here? I know I didn't explain that well. Hopefully we're all up to speed here and have an idea on what's going on. While I've just been breaking all of that down, Baggy had already arrived at the fort on horseback, and of course, was making his way deeper inside.
That's fucking like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Here's how the dungeon worked. There are a series of undead blades. As each one of them fell, their spirit would contribute to unlocking some magical door deeper inside the fort. Thanks to the book, I also learned that each blade boss fight would have a unique piece of gear that I could take from them. And the most important thing I learned, ghosts fucking suck.
Suck a fat one. Fuck up. These guys actually suck. They are fucking the worst.
I slowly made my way through, fighting each blade one by one, collecting their gear and chipping away at their magic ghost lock.
Hey, if you want to stand there and not block, I'm here for it.
Once I defeated all of them, I returned to the main chamber, where the ghost spirits I just rescued made some magic bullshit and just opened the barrier.
Let's do it. Show me your mystical bullshit.
And there it was, Tiber Septim's chess piece, just sitting there, waiting for me. But before I returned it to Martin, the guy had asked me to do one final thing. Wear it. So I threw it on, and I made my way back to Martin, but this time, in style.
Oh, Jesus. That thing is running at me like it has a mission. Welkenstone? How do you say that?
Once again, Martin needs me to obtain some ancient alien relic from a set of ruins. By this point, the game guide assumes you sort of know how to play Oblivion, so it's much less descriptive than these earlier chapters. That's why I was genuinely surprised when the book made a big deal about what seemed like a relatively simple mission. It wanted me to locate and read some in-game lore. Luckily, Bethesda had already placed a copy of said book in the temple library, so I followed the game guide's commands and dove into the backstory behind these ruins. The whole TLDR is this ancient race of people did bad things, the people revolted, ancient race gone? Question mark? I don't know, Elder Scrolls lore people, please don't kill me, but that was my interpretation of the book I sort of read. Armed with new knowledge, I made my way to the dungeon, expecting a pretty straightforward mission, except it turned out I had just stepped into a goblin zombie civil war.
I don't remember this episode of The Walking Dead.
And at this point, Oblivion's difficulty scaling was really starting to test my patience.
Where did you come from?
You guys say Colorado.
Dude, he just get down, Mr. President, that guy.
I eventually recovered the artifact and then decided to escape the ruin on foot.
I'm fucking legging it to town.
Which seemingly every NPC hostile in the game chased me down across Tamriel.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Where am I? In the bear capital? Look at all the things chasing me. The goblins from before are still chasing me. We got a goblin, a highwayman, a fucking mountain lion, 3 bears. All still want me dead.
Oh, and then after being chased by every NPC in fucking Oblivion, I got jump scared by a troll.
That was on my asshole. Holy shit.
Yep, 10 out of 10. Would do again.
Oh, I'm dying to a fucking wolf. Martin, this might be the dumbest idea I've ever heard of.
After returning the stone, Martin had everything he needed except one crucial element. A sigil stone from a major Oblivion gate. His plan, you may ask? Summon a giant gate out the front of Bruma and have me do what I do best. And this is when I came to the book's recommended intermission point for the campaign. The guide says that this is a completely optional quest, but is one of the largest quest chains in the entire game. I'd have to complete a handful of Oblivion gates and side missions to make the next quest as easy as possible. The idea is that Bruma will need help to defend itself once the gate is open, but all of Cyrodiil is already dealing with their own Oblivion crisis. So if I could go around and help all these other towns with their bullshit, they'd send their reinforcements and help aid Bruma.
Seriously?
Yeah. Thus begins the longest quest I'd been on yet. The things I discovered, the adventures I went on, and the progress I made during this quest line made me understand why the book had been so restrictive up until this point. But first, here are some rules from the book that we will be following. Although I am free to pursue anything I'd like in the pursuit of getting stronger, the book recommended side quests and exploring as my easiest options.
Oh, we're in Blackwood. I know that one. I played ESO.
The guide also gave me an order in which it would like me to tackle each of these cities, optimally organizing them from easiest to hardest. It also highlighted some crucial side quests that could give me some extra NPCs for the big battle, mainly being the Wayward Knight quest. So, what did Baggy do with all of this newfound freedom? There has been one overarching issue with my entire playthrough so far. And although the lack of money, enemy difficulty scaling, carry weight, and inability to use basic spells were tilting, nothing made me crash out harder than motherfucking lockpicking.
Fuck me, cunt. Fuck me, cunt. Fuck's sake. No. Shit.
Seriously, fuck this shit. So when I read in my research about a Deadric Quest that rewards an unbreakable lockpick, I thought, what a better time to break the rules than now. The book told me to speak to someone at the Mages Guild who could give me the location of the Shrine of Nocturne. Once there, the Nocturne Shrine Lady informed me that she wanted a special artifact returned, an artifact that had been stolen from her shrine. So, I headed to Leowyn and I asked about the theft. The book told me that if I secretly entered this room, I could eavesdrop on a pair of Argonians and find the artifact's location. What I was looking for was hidden underwater inside a cave. After battling through heaps of trolls, bears, and fucking mountain lions,
what the fuck?
I returned to Nocturne with the artifact and was given the skeleton key lockpick as a reward. This artifact is quoted as the best piece of gear you can get in the entire game. And that was quoted by me right now. After that, I completed a free roam quest called the Greyland Raid, where I pretty much slaughtered like a bunch of drug dealers. Then I headed over to Anvil to make some progress on the Allies for Bruma quest chain. I found the Countess, which the book also does an insane job of detailing like every important NPC's whereabouts at like any given time. And she told me that she couldn't give aid until the Anvil Gate was dealt with, which is something we better get used to hearing in this quest chain.
Cannot risk weakening Anvil's defenses with that Oblivion Gate open outside the city.
What's special about these like city and Oblivion gates is that the game guide has a detailed map filled with points of interest for each of them. Using that, I did end up finding some like super enchanted robes on this dead guy. I had to make him drop through a cage, but it was really cool nonetheless. And then I made my way through all the Daedra and the Italian brainrot.
What the fuck is that? Dude, that's Bombadillo Crocodilo.
Just barely managing to make it there before I died.
I'm on the floor again. Am I fucked? Why is she tiny? Oh, fucking Jesus. Talk about fucking cutting it close.
I returned to the land of the living and found the Count, and had successfully gathered the guards for the defense of Bruma. Guys, before I talk more about the main quest, there's a couple more issues that have been annoying me while I was playing. Although I did solve the main problem of these stupid fucking lockpicks, I still had an issue of encumbrance. Especially because in order to make money, I needed to pick up gear, and the weight values of some of these items in the game is fucking ridiculous. Like, look at that. Why does it weigh that much? I don't know what I put there, but like, why the fuck does it weigh that much? Seriously. So, while in Anvil looking for another quest, I decided to stop at a local tavern, and I found a guy willing to sell me a house for only 5k gold. And coincidentally, that is all the gold I had.
Let's go see my new house that cost me literally all of my gold.
Now, fun fact about me, okay? In the state of Victoria, I'm a licensed real estate agent. I understand you probably couldn't tell because, I mean, just fucking look at me. But yes, I can legally sell a house in this country. So when I tell you that 5k gold for a house with this many bedrooms and acreage is a steal, I mean it.
This place do be kind of stinky.
I'm now completely broke, but I have a chest where I can store all my knickknacks. And it's my little, like, investment property for the time being.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I went to sleep, reflecting on another successful day as the hero of Kvatch.
Yep, let's level up. Oh! Okay.
Because holy fucking shit, somebody call Bill Murray because I'm getting ass fucked by ghosts here.
Got enough of these spooky ghosts. Yeah, my fucking mansion.
Yeah, this dick sold me a haunted house.
Oh shit, this is real haunted. My fucking breath is frosted.
I picked up a strange note and tracked down the prick who sold me the house in the Imperial City. With the note, I convinced him to come and help me unhaunt my house, BuzzFeed Unsolved style.
Hey there, demons. It's me, your boy.
And eventually found myself trapped in a secret room with this undead lynch boss.
I just wanted a place to put my shit.
After killing him, the house was officially cleansed and I had completed the quest where the spirits have lease. Yeah, like, listen, I probably should have read that quest title and seen this whole thing coming. As the book commanded, I spoke to the Countess of Coral, who gave me the same reasoning. The gate outside the city needs to be dealt with. I checked the guide's map and made a plan of attack. So far, a lot of the game guide maps had been very detailed, but not very lucrative. Sure, they'd show me like a location of a secret room or level appropriate gear, but so far there'd been like little reason to explore outside of now. The book had highlighted an Easter egg that is completely missable with some high-level loot at the end. So after searching, I found a secret cave entrance near this sea of lava. I went inside and dealt with the usual riffraff.
Bombadillo, crocodilo.
And came upon another doorway. This led me to 2 Hatred Daedra.
Don't turn around. You turned around.
And inside each adjacent chest was a bow of hatred and a mace of hatred.
Pretty happy with that.
These would end up being 2 of the best pieces of gear in the entire game, and they had really strong enchantments. I took my new mace for a spin and ended up getting stun-locked by some stupid enemies.
What the fuck? My brother in Christ, you need to get up. I hate that it fucking locks me in third person.
Then completed the gate, spoke to the Count and gained more units for my army. Editor, add a Age of Empires joke here. While in Coral, I couldn't help but notice a castle like just outside the main gate of the city. I checked the guide for more details, but I couldn't find actually anything. As I approached the castle, it was under siege by some bandits who all had some pretty good gear. I cleared the front gate, and as a reward, I was handed a deed to the whole fucking castle. Looking now at both the original and the Game of the Year guides, I couldn't find anything about this place. Through some more research, I soon put together that this is another one of those DLC houses like Frostcrag, and I'd need some serious money if I was truly to make it my home.
This is cool. Oh, baby. Keg. Oh, it gives me mead.
Despite this, I decided that for the rest of this playthrough, this place would be my new base. It felt fitting for a video about playing Oblivion via a book guide that the one place that could truly be mine wasn't in the book at all. If that makes any sense. But still, I had allies to arrange, so I cleared the Oblivion gate next to the castle for fun and continued. You know the drill by this point. I made it to Leowyn and proceeded to close the gate. The only tidbit of interest that the book even highlighted was that within this gate was this secret door left across this lava ocean. The door didn't do anything, it was just there, it was just a door, which I'm sure was a cool thing to find if I could actually even make it there.
Yep, there's no way I'm making that.
Yep, so there's just this random door here in this thing. I'll see if I can find footage of it. But yeah, congrats. Cool door. Cheers, Bethesda. Love that one. Skingrad was more of the same, except for this lever puzzle I spent way too long trying to figure out.
Well, double shit. Where even is the fucking sigil thing?
And now, by the time I got to the Breville Gate, I was over this whole quest chain. I just ran through the whole thing and finished it within like 5 minutes, okay?
4 gold, stitch up. Alright, let's get out of here.
The book said nothing about skipping through it, okay? It just said I had to complete it. So yeah, Breville's done. Finally, the end of the quest was in sight, and like the book said, they saved me the hardest gate for last. Once I arrived, I met with a group of guards who, upon talking to, started me on the Wayward Night quest. The Count's son had gone into the gate 3 days ago and hadn't been seen since, so I had to not only close the gate, but find out what happened to his boy. Out of all the notes in my guidebook until this point, the book really emphasized that this guy's son can die, and that there will be quest ramifications in Allies for Bruma and the Wayward Night questline if he does. Once inside, I quickly found the grown man I was meant to babysit.
Oh, hello.
And after a couple of minutes and some resets to the timeline, I extracted the son out of hell, found some dope armor, and an even better sword. With all of these gates now closed, Baggy nearing level 20, and Bruma as prepped as it could be, it was time to start the closing chapters of this campaign.
Man, I'm in Spain without the S.
Gotham is never safe. Under my watch, I can protect it, but only for so long. I am Batman.
I approached the Countess of Bruma and filled her in on the plan.
Whoa! That was a power move at the half.
We assembled at the chapel where Martin waited in his fresh new fit. This was really starting to feel like the beginning of the end. The book informed me that if the Countess had called me a diplomat, I would have done the questline correctly and gathered everyone possible. However, she, didn't. And I'm unsure what I had missed, so I just decided to continue with the game. Here, Martin informed the gang that he would be opening this big fuck-off portal and that we had to protect him, no matter the cost. We walked through the streets and made it to the outskirts next to this giant Oblivion gate. Martin gave the speech of the century.
They burn our homes. We will let them kill our families. No, we make our stand here today for the whole of Citadel.
And then we were thrust into complete and utter chaos.
The hero of Kavach is about to die, guys.
This part of the guide was very descriptive and worrying. I needed to protect Martin at all times, and that it was better for me to lure combatants towards us rather than running off and leaving him undefended. The guide also informed me that both Barrios and Joffrey were at risk during this mission, and that special actions were needed to ensure their survival. Before entering the main gate, I had to make sure they were both well guarded and not being swarmed. Once inside, unlike Martin, they were at risk of death. This wasn't like Skyrim where companions go down on one knee and crawl around. No, they can just straight up be killed.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch.
So with that knowledge in mind, I did everything I could to ensure their survival. I enchanted gear, made potions and prepped spells. It only took a couple of seconds for me to realize that keeping them alive is going to be difficult.
I don't even know where Martin is in all this.
Loads of Daedra poured out of these adjacent gates. Bombadillo crocodillos, these big hammer guys, these dinosaur motherfuckers, and just regular Daedra. And there was so much going on, I couldn't even tell who was who.
Should have done this during the day. I can't see.
After almost dying and defeating most of the prevalent threats, I went through the main gate, hoping I had done everything I could to save my boys and follow the guide's instructions.
I don't even know what the fuck they are. Fuck this. This is fucking crazy. Holy shit.
The second I entered, I was face to face with a siege engine that would put Rafa the Machine to shame. But I didn't have time to take in the scenery. I had very clear instructions to follow. I was on a timer to get this gate closed, before the siege engine made it through and obliterated Bruma. The guide told me exactly what to do. Immediately get inside one of these towers, avoid looting and fighting any enemies I could, and parkour my way to the main spire as fast as possible. No distractions, no detours.
Nope. Dead.
I sprinted through the tower, stopping only to kill specific Daedra that held the key forward, and pushed past them until I reached the top of the spire. I stole the sigil stone like I'd done before, collapsing the gate and saving the day just in time.
Hello. Oh, there's a lot of things that don't want me to grab this sigil stone, huh? Shame though. I'm just too damn good. Yoink. Fuck your Oblivion Gate. I'm flipping up the screen right now. I'm flipping it off. Fuck you Frost Atronach dickhead.
Once I returned outside, I saw the shattered remains of the siege engine, and a field littered with corpses. The defense of Bruma had not gone well, but now with the sigil stone in hand, Martin told me we had everything we needed to enter the Daedric realm of paradise and reclaim the Amulet of Kings. I looked around the battlefield for Joffrey and Barrios, only for the unthinkable to happen. Laying dead in the snow was my boy Joffrey, and Barrios was nowhere in sight. This was the first time I had majorly fucked up. But even if I reloaded the timeline, I knew I'd run into the same issues. I was too high level at this point. There were too many enemies pouring out of this gate. Although I had betrayed the book, it did say from this point on the characters are considered non-essential. They can die without affecting the main quest, so there is that. But for Baggy and me, this loss hurt.
I was meant to save him. The book says you can save him, I just didn't. Because there was so much shit going on, I didn't know what the fuck happened.
I dragged Joffrey into this small clearing beneath a tree.
Come on, I ain't leaving you out here.
I laid him up against the trunk, and I said a few words.
Fucker fell face first, Joffrey. Like the leader of the fucking Cloud Temple? The one guy the book was like, you should probably try and save? I did my best, man. I did my best. It was fucked. You saw it out there. It was crazy. I didn't know what to fucking do. There was shit everywhere. I didn't even know you were alive or dead. I was gonna die, and I took a leap of faith, and I went through that fucking portal. And yes, I know technically in the canon, I have the ability to, go back through time and fix my mistakes, but I'll be honest, I don't really want to run that again.
His sacrifice would not be forgotten, and in my headcanon, Barrios went through one of the gates and got trapped somewhere in Oblivion. Hopefully, still alive. Despite the fact I had just now realized I'd been missing my pants for the entire mission, the loss still hit hard.
I've just realized I'm missing pants. Sort of ruins this.
From this moment on, I swore I wouldn't mess up this badly again.
But, yeah. I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry you died. And I'm sorry that I didn't follow the book.
But for now, I still had a world to save.
I'm gonna turn this prick into Glenn, I swear to God.
The time had come. If I could successfully retrieve the amulet, Martin could be crowned emperor, and the Oblivion crisis could be over. Before talking to Martin again at the temple, I stocked up on some gear and potions in the Imperial City at the book's request. Once I arrived at the temple, for what might be the very last time, Martin did some cool wizard shit, combining like the Daedric artifact, the Wayland stone, and the main gate sigil stone to open a portal that would send me straight into the heart of paradise. I took a deep breath and I walked in. This remaster looked fantastic. The visuals, the world, even the NPCs looked great and held up incredibly considering it's based on a game this old. So when I saw Paradise for the first time, with only this small image from the guide as reference, I was simply blown away. This realm was gorgeous.
Jesus.
As I explored, I came across another Daedra, who this time wanted to have a chat. Yet again, the book outlined every possible way for me to get past this guy, but preferred that I serve the Daedra rather than risk losing to him in a straight 1v1. So, at the Daedra's request, I went into a nearby cave and unleashed some giant hammer Daedra, who then proceeded to kill all of these poor trapped souls.
Fuck her up. Ooh. Backhand. Ooh, front hand. Haymaker.
Then he T-posed his way through the guards of paradise. This happened.
And he's off.
I then received the shackles that would let me delve further into the realm, and I was met with my next obstacle. This guy met me in a cave and told me that he could help me defeat Lord Cameron and retrieve the amulet. Of course, you can choose not to trust him, but the book tells you regardless, you're going to need his help.
This is why he sent him for questioning.
This guy helps me trick a Daedra guard by pretending to drop my cage into a pool of lava, and then we sneak into the third area.
Wait.
Since entering Paradise, Cameron has been shit-talking me non-stop.
You didn't think you could take me unawares here of all places.
And when I meet his kids out the front of the temple, they tell me the same thing.
You think you can stop us? Soon Mehrunes Dagon will walk upon Tamriel for the first time since the Mythic Age.
The last recommendation the book had was actually a surprising one. Using magic on this guy would be pointless, and I'm better off getting into close range. While Cameron monologues about how he's amazing and I can't kill him, I should just run down there and just jump him mid-sentence. So I entered the chamber, and like the police officer from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I ran up to this would-be god and bludgeoned him to death in a relatively easy fashion.
See ya, dickhead.
I looted his gear and the amulet and returned to Cyrodiil, victorious.
Bang. Like a fucking boss. Oh, Mart Dog, we did it. It's over.
I had done it. I had returned the amulet to its rightful heir, and all that was left was to crown Martin as the new emperor. Then there would be peace and love spread throughout Tamriel forever, and all would be good in the world. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Sadly, we have about another 300 pages of this guide still to uncover, so of course, it's not going to be that easy. As I approached the Imperial Palace, the book reminded me that here I could meet my friends from Cloud Ruler Temple, who should all be waiting for me to arrive. And just like in real life, I was starkly reminded that I have no friends because they're all dead. Once inside, just as Martin was about to be coronated, a guard burst in with terrible and yet predictable news.
The city is under attack.
Oh, what?
Oblivion gates have opened and Daedra are inside the walls.
The Oblivion crisis was not over, and the Daedra were on the offensive. How offensive? Well, they just opened a series of portals inside the Imperial City, and we're all gonna die. So I stepped outside and immediately got into a fight, with the only insight from the guide being that I need to stick to Martin like glue and keep him alive. You see, my boy Mart Dog had a plan. I just had to get him to the Dragonfires in one piece. The fight was hard, and there were a lot of things that wanted to kill me.
Help me, boys.
We managed to make a break in their offensive and push forward, just in time to see Mehrunes Dagon himself in all of his 100-foot god-destroying glory.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're pretty fucked.
Hello.
I managed to weasel my way through the temple and found Martin inside. With Dagon here, the Dragonfires would no longer stop them. So, the Emperor did the only thing left. And to this day, I firmly believe this is the coolest thing I've ever seen played out in an Elder Scrolls game. Alduin, eat your fucking heart out, because the motherfucking Emperor turned into a dragon.
Oh shit. What the fuck? What the hell? Go, Martin, go! Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, this is some Game of Thrones shit. Go, Martin, how the fuck did you turn into a dragon? Go fuck yourself. Get him, Martin, get him. Yes! Holy shit. Martin, you're like a fire dragon now. Oh, it's got the fucking dragon scream.
Martin had seemingly died. With his sacrifice, it was safe to say that the Oblivion crisis was now finally over. A councilman entered the ruins of the temple and confirmed the same thing, thanking me for my heroism and promising to have a custom armor built in my honor. But he also echoed what I was already thinking. With Martin gone and no more heirs left in the Septim bloodline, who knows what will become of Cyrodiil and its people?
Yeah. It's going to be one of these videos.
So now we have completed the campaign, but we still have a lot more to go if we want to complete Oblivion. And before we get started with the faction questlines, I figured now would be a great time to just take a deep breath, grab a snack, as we just discuss my feelings about the story and the guidebook, and my overall feelings about Oblivion and its remaster. So guys, so far, my time in Cyrodiil has been weird. As I mentioned, the way I go about playing this game, especially for the first time, goes against a lot of the main reasons players fall in love with these type of games. But I will say, I think I preferred what Oblivion has going on here with its main questline. Although killing dragons and learning shouts is cool and all, and although I do think the quests and dungeons and locations in Skyrim are more enjoyable, there are a lot of parts of that campaign that I just loathe doing. Maybe you could attribute that to fatigue, but the Golden Claw, the climb to High Hofgra, the horn of that random dickhead in that Felmer undercover mission really slows my enjoyment of Skyrim's narrative. However, despite some very simple missions in the Oblivion campaign, I was simply astonished with just how many options you have when it comes to tackling each mission, which made even the simple missions memorable and replayable. I'm gonna keep glazing this, but the Spies mission, for example, although fun the first time, was just a nothing mission. But just brute forcing it and getting past it in 6 minutes is an option. The same can be said for the Allies to Bruma. It's completely optional. If I was power leveling with some skills and already had some go-to gear, you could get past this mission no problem. The irony of the amount of freedom I felt during these missions made the very tight restrictions on what I can and can't explore not too bothersome. It makes sense from like an immersion standpoint that during the Oblivion crisis, your main task would be dealing with the Oblivion crisis, not becoming the arena champion or some head of a murderous cult, and ultimately, that's what I imagine the book is intended for. So far, the ways it's had me approach different combat scenarios and locations has made me put a little bit more effort into each situation, and made me appreciate just how much depth this game has. And although at this point I'm still preferring Skyrim, as we progress deeper in the game, I'm suspecting that will start to change. So with Cyrodiil saved, I consulted the book once more, and was directed to join the Fighters Guild, the Companions of Oblivion. And as one of the first pieces of guild content I had ever done in Skyrim, I had a lot of high hopes.
So is this just it? We do this 20 times?
Now, if you can recall from earlier in the video, the game guide had a certain order it wanted me to complete the factions in. And so, following its instructions, if I wanted to officially join the Fighters Guild, I would need to head to the main guild in Anvil to start my fighting adventures. Soon, I would be given my first quest, to simply help a lady with a rat problem. Her problem was in fact that her pet rats are being killed by fucking mountain lions.
What the fuck? That ain't a rat, bro. Oh, what the hell?
And that somehow they're breaking into her basement. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of exterminator you'd need to solve that, but I feel incredibly underqualified. I quickly found the town hunter and requested his aid in tracking down these lions' whereabouts. And after we recreated the funny lion Oblivion meme, we dispatched what was left of the Anvil threat. All is well and good. Except for when I returned to claim my reward, somehow there's another fucking lion in this chick's basement. At this point, it's safe to say that something really weird is going on. At the guide's request, if I stake outside this lady's house at 8 PM, while hiding in this very specific bush in the backyard, the rat-lion culprit would reveal themselves. I waited, and sure enough, I caught her neighbor dropping off chunks of meat near the basement exterior. I confronted the meat bandit, and she simply explained that she just hates living next to rats, and that she was merely just trying to get the rats to escape and run away. The lions committing B&E was just an unintentional side effect, and honestly, who can fucking blame her? Because of this, she was begging me not to tell anyone, and that if I kept my mouth shut, she would pay me in gold and just drop the whole thing completely. But the decision has already been made for me, as the guidebook wants me to tell the truth and reveal the lady's actions, rather than take the bribe. So after informing the weird rat lady about what her neighbor was up to, I had officially completed my first ever Oblivion faction quest. After the news of my lion and rat heroics met my supervisor, I was immediately promoted and sent off on another task. A shopkeeper in Anvil has reported that he keeps getting robbed, and would like someone to guard his shop. I made my way inside the store through a completely unlocked back door, by the way, which is probably why you're getting robbed to begin with, and I waited. I waited and attempted to guard the shop overnight, but was interrupted when a group of thugs barged in.
Sup, fuckers?
All in kitted out glass armor and weapons. If I didn't act smart, Baggy would quickly get overwhelmed and killed. but luckily even the developers had planned for this, as the guide instructed me to go upstairs in the shop and funnel the thugs one by one on the stairwell.
Hold the line.
After implementing this strategy flawlessly, might I add.
Shit, did not mean to charge through that.
I beat down the thugs in no time, and followed the game guide's next set of instructions, simply looting all the gear off the thugs after the fight, waiting until the shop reopens, and then selling back all the gear the thugs presumably stole from the shop back to the original owner, thus finishing the quest, and most importantly, earning me a shit ton of gold.
Nice.
Finishing up my Fighters Guild probation, I had one last task. To escort a group of fighters through a mine and deliver each of them a weapon. Each member had a specific weapon that was best suited for them, the axe for the orc and the blade for the human. After that, it was a pretty straightforward cave dive, featuring the same enemies and the dog shit NPC AI you know and love.
Oh, you're fucking joking, cunt. Fuck's sake. No, 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 no.
All around me are familiar faces.
So after a few more multiversal timeline adjustments, I was free, promoted, and sent to Coral for my next set of Fighter Guild contracts. This next quest would begin to reveal the greater narrative of the Fighters Guild storyline, and it all started with one of my Fighters Guild brethren going MIA and abandoning his contract. It had now become my job to finish his task and ultimately find out what happened to my guildmate. So I headed to his last known location, and after asking around, I found him. This guy was perfectly safe and alive, drinking at a bar. He told me that he's done with the guild and that this cave was too dangerous. Smelling bitch in the air, Baggy made his way to the cave, cleared it out, and retrieved the special journal that Old Mate was tasked with retrieving. I returned to hand in my quest and was given the option to either tell the truth and become a rat, or lie and say that Old Mate from before didn't just try to fuck me over and the guild. Luckily for this elf fuck, and for some unknown reason that wouldn't be explained just yet, the book agreed that lying to my superiors was the best course of action in this scenario. A tidbit of knowledge I'm gonna actually start using in my real life going forward.
You serious?
Another quick promotion and Xbox achievement later, I was making my way to Skingrad to try and put a stop to another group of guild members that have gone rogue. These fighters have seemingly abandoned the guild and were now causing a ruckus at the local. When I entered the tavern, I found it a complete mess and stumbled upon the group I was looking for, who were arguing amongst one another. After some more time, I spoke to the group and tried to figure out what the fuck's going on. Their issues fundamentally boiled down to this: inflation be crazy, and
They took our job!
an issue I didn't want to end up relating to as much in this playthrough. You see, as of recently, a new Fighters Guild competitor has opened up in Leyawiin called the Blackwood Company. And these guys were simply just a bunch of mercenaries that were taking contracts from the guild and undercutting them the cost, leaving our boys here pretty much unemployed. To remedy this, I spent the grand total of like 5 minutes just looking for work. A local alchemist was in need of ogre's teeth and minotaur horns and would pay handsomely. So after proving the guild's worth and delivering some ectoplasm I just had left over in my pockets, the ongoing contract was secured and all ours. This pleased the group enough, and they left the bar without any more dramas, leaving me with another completed batch of quests, another promotion, and a new series of contracts to be completed. It's always sort of baffled me that like in these games, in a world where there's gods and magic and like water parkour, that not a single person can just ever solve their own issues. So in a blink of an eye, Baggy was speaking to another local shopkeep who was robbed along with his special drinking flagon that needed to be returned ASAP. This time, however, I would have my new BFF that I covered for earlier accompanying me on this trip.
Oh, it's you. Looks like we're working together.
Yeah, try not to sound too excited, you fucking prick.
With the only sage wisdom the guidebook giving me was just, don't let this guy die. And you know what? In the end of the day, I think I did a pretty good job.
Where did he... I turned my back for a second. He's unconscious. Bro, you got hit in the dig. Oh.
So, simultaneously clearing the cave of bandits and returning this guy's flagon, I had just completed 2 quests, and I was feeling pretty good. But at this point in the faction, these contracts were beginning to drag. I'm sure my next one will just be quick, easy, enjoyable, and most importantly, not rage-inducing in the slightest. I was sent off to help this poor woman in some small town on the outskirts of Leyawiin. This lady's dad happened to be a degenerate gambler and has run off, leaving her with the enormous debt of 1,000 gold.
Great deal. Over 1,000
Womp womp.
So I had 2 options moving forward. I could help this poor woman by sharing a small fraction of my wealth so that she could pay off her debt, get her life together, and finally move on from the abandonment of her father. Or I could do what I was hired for and achieve the much harder task of clearing out the family's ancestral tomb, locating this rare piece of armor and returning it to the woman so she could sell it and pay off the debt. Look, I know I'm a cheap piece of shit. There's nothing else to that. I'm just cheap. But seriously, the main reason I wanted to go through this cave was because the book highlighted that there's this secret strong armor set that can only be found hidden throughout this cave. And my armor, especially lately, has been seriously lacking. I battled my way through this cave and followed the guide's instructions, looking for every secret armor piece I could.
Dude, grave robbing's hype. I get why people do it now.
Being an idiot who has proven to himself and the internet time and time again that I can't actually read, I spent an hour longer than I needed to looking through this first section of the cave for this mythical fourth piece of armor that didn't actually exist. After eventually realizing my error and clearing the second part of this cave, I hurried back to complete my mission, with my secret godly armor now all finally collected. Alas, after a closer inspection, my illiteracy struck again.
Oh, you have to be joking. It's light armor?
Because I discovered that the armor was lightweighted and thus completely useless to my character. Angered by this whole dumb revelation, I went to at least sell the armor, and then also discovered it's worth sweet fuck all.
Bruce's armor is dog shit.
So I sold the whole set for less than like 100 gold and finally returned back to the lady in need. But in some sort of swan song of stupidity, I had accidentally sold the armor piece she needed to clear her debt.
But where are they? Please bring me the sword and armor.
Whoops.
So once again, after reloading and backtracking on my save and pretty much wasting an hour of my life I can never get back, I completed the quest and set forth on my next adventure.
I found the rest of your fucking grandfather's shit and it sucks. So, here's all your dog shit. Enjoy.
My next set of tasks would be pretty simple, and luckily required less comprehension skills. I was to accompany the Guildmaster's son through their first ever expedition and protect them from any harm, or as the guide puts it, be kicked out of the guild permanently.
You fucking dickhead.
It also didn't help my case that the Guildmaster's other son had just recently been killed while on duty on another contract. But I'm sure for the hero of Kvatch, for my boy Baggy here, this wouldn't be too stressful. And it wasn't. Besides this like troll jump scare,
oh my god,
we managed to clear the cave and find the man we were looking for. Dead, but found nonetheless. Moving on from that smashing success at babysitting, Baggy found himself once again looking for his guild BFF because, spoiler alert, he was sent out to do a job and didn't come back. Again. This time when I found him, however,
I imagine I know why you're here, guild rat.
Fuck you fucking dog.
He had outright quit the guild and he's joined the Blackwood Company, that group of mercenaries that we spoke about earlier. You know, the ones that took our jobs, that took our jobs, that took our jobs. Those guys, the rednecks from South Park, the ones that took our jobs. But there is good news, however. Because I covered for my boy earlier, like the book suggested, he just gave me information about the contract he abandoned, rather than having me wander all over town and hunt down who he was meant to be working for. Once I returned to my new supervisor and informed him on the news of my BFF's betrayal, he wasn't very thrilled. In fact, he insisted that we go to where the guild first originally encountered the Blackwood Company, and he explained some background on this new arising conflict. The too long didn't read is that a deal was struck between the Blackwood Company and the Fighters Guild, but a betrayal from someone within our own guild left many people on both sides dead, and gave the Fighters Guild some sort of bad luck curse ever since. Our boss here believes rather that the betrayal of this deal came from the Blackwood Company side and not the Fighters Guild. If we could find some clues or even evidence of the Blackwood involvement, maybe we could actually prove it. We made it to another alien ruin where the deal took place, and after masterfully navigating some spike traps,
I thought spikes were gonna come out. Whoa!
We dispatched any enemies left inside.
The fucking rat, watch out! Fighters Guild's toughest enemy right there.
Having discovered nothing of great value, we decided to check out one more spot these Blackwood members could be hiding. I begrudgingly had to escort this guy to the ruin.
Hurry up! Fuck me.
But eventually we made it to our location and began clearing the next dungeon. Despite some of these guys being actually kitted out in Daedric gear, we did come out on top and found a ring linking the Blackwood Company leader to this great disaster of a deal he mentioned earlier, or something. I'll be honest, I was kind of lost in this one. Throughout my time in Oblivion, I had been pretty engaged with the story and the questing, so I was happy when the plot, mission design, and the stakes actually started to rise. I smashed through my next 2 basic contracts with ease. The Wandering Scholar had me protect a lady as she delved into some Deadric shrine, and the Fugitive mission had me asking around a town for the location of some missing prisoners, which were all hiding behind some themed traps the book told me how to just avoid. It was also here where I discovered, almost like 30 hours in, that your stats, right? Your stats on your character, they can be permanently damaged, and they need potions to be restored.
Yep, now I'm back. So that's the entire game I've been playing incorrectly.
So this entire time, I've had shit carry weight because, yet again, I'm just an idiot. Like, I have a whole book telling me what to do, and I still couldn't read the part that was like, yo, your stats can just be fixed if you drink a potion. I didn't know that, so I had shit fucking carry weight for half the game, so enjoy that footage. As the quest name suggests, here's where things got interesting. I was sent off once again to find a missing member of the Fighters Guild, but this time, it was the guild leader's son. It was paramount that I find him safe and return him home at once. And like, seeing the writing on the walls, you'll understand my lack of shock when I found the son dead and alone in this cave, surrounded by other dead Blackwood Company members and just like woodland beasts.
It's gonna be bad. Her last living son is dead, and technically it's our fault.
I picked up the note nearby, and it explained the son's final moments. The Blackwood Company had just hijacked this job, fucked it all up, and will be the cause of his death.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
I returned to my boss and delivered the grim news. He ended up getting expelled from the guild, and I ended up getting deranked all the way back to the bottom. How this was Baggy's fault in the slightest, I'll never understand, but I guess here we are. Now that I'm back to being a lowly fighter peasant, I was given another set of menial contracts with no real groundbreaking insights. These are all pretty similar to the ones I've done previously, with me going out to find a secret priest relic in a cave, finding a missing orc's noble's daughter who had been weirdly kidnapped by ogres. That whole thing had some like weird connotations, and learning more about these missing people in a nearby town. And just same deal, spoiler alert, they got lost in a cave and trolls killed them, okay? Pretty much a big waste of time. After tying up those loose ends, we finally were at the end of the quest line, and Bethesda definitely saved the best till last. My dark elf boss from before contacted me again, asking to meet me at his home. Once there, he told me about a plan to expose the Blackwood Company and restore the guild and our own names.
I'm taking down the Blackwood Company.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck those guys.
With little to lose at this point, I agreed, and I made my way to a cave that was meant to house an important Blackwood leader. The objective was to sneak in the cave and bring back the leader for questioning. The book's only word of advice being, don't kill this guy. What happened next can only be described as Bethesda's no Russian moment, okay? Because I was tasked with beating the shit out of this poor dude until he told me what was going on with the Blackwood Company.
Talk. Talk.
After getting some more information, the fucking hostage himself.
Oh!
With a ring that he was wearing that was enchanted to light you on fire. This is fucked up. This game came out in 2006 and I'm doing torture, which is just like absolutely nuts. I received my next mission to finally infiltrate the Blackwood Company. A task that sounded way harder than it actually was. Because all I had to do was go to the Blackwood Company guild house,
hey boys, I want to defect,
and say I'd like to join. And within minutes, they were sharing company secrets and sending me on my first official mission. But before I could go and complete a job for them, I had to prove that I'm not a narc and drink this super illegal Aragonian drug named Hist.
It is a good thing.
Oh bro, I'm like Essendon.
I chugged that shit down real quick because peer pressure is make-believe and was teleported to a village that had been taken over by goblins.
Okay. Oh shit. Get him.
I slaughtered them all, and I went house to house to ensure there were none left.
Hi. Why are there goblins living in the house?
Weirdly, none of the goblins attacked me or wielded like any sort of weapons, as the book made sure to point out. I soon passed out and awoke to find myself back in the house of my old boss, who explained to me that Hist is a really bad hallucinogen and that I'm lucky to have only just passed out. I went back to the village I just saved to find all these innocent people slaughtered.
Oh god.
What the hell have I done?
My god. And the sheepies.
I looked for any survivors when I came across a man that was trying to bury the bodies. Turns out this village I slaughtered was the village of the lady who needed to pay off her dad's debt from earlier. And the man that appeared and is attempting to bury the villagers was the deadbeat dad who just returned in order to make amends with his daughter.
It's the chick from the start.
I must bury our dead.
And that's the deadbeat dad.
Pretty fucking grim. Now, fueled by vengeance, I went back to my boss to work out a plan. I was going to go into the Blackwood Company, kill their leader, destroy the tree that's making all of this hist, and walk out of there John Wick style. I walked through the front door, and I battled my way through the guild and killed its leaders.
I'll kill each and every one of you.
Then I went back downstairs to the room with the history and I destroyed it.
Get fucked, history.
As I left, my friend from earlier tried to stop me, so I had to put him down too.
No, come on, Maglia. No, come on, bro. Well, I can see you.
And with that, the Blackwood Guild was destroyed, and our names were exonerated. I soon found myself with another Xbox achievement and was made the new head of the Fighters Guild for my heroics and drug taking. I now was also rewarded with a chest that I could come back to each month that rewarded me with just money and some small goodies. With the Fighters Guild all wrapped up, I consulted the guide on what to do next. And so starts my wizarding arc of this playthrough, as I have been sent to join the Mages Guild of Cyrodiil.
Brother, I can't even cast spells.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Interestingly enough, joining the Mages Guild is quite different to any other faction in the game, or even Skyrim for that matter. I guess to prove myself a useful wizard, I have to do more than just speak to a guy and wear some robes. I had to complete a series of 7 recommendation quests in order to get enough goodwill to join. And low-key, these quests were some of the most fun I had playing this entire game. I don't know why, I think they just really clicked with me. Maybe it's like the MMO part of my brain, but I just really like doing these long-winded, pointless quests. These quests were ordered in the game guide from easiest to hardest, and wanted me to start my journey into Archmagehood in Bruma, no less. I spoke to the main lady mage, and she informed me that if I could find her missing Khajiit, I could have her recommendation.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
The book explained to me that this cat is not missing, merely just hiding in plain sight, and it even told me if I listened carefully, I could start hearing him giggle throughout the halls. The book did give me a couple of solutions to finding him, like casting Detect Life and hitting the invisible prankster cat with a Dispel Magic, but it did ultimately prefer if I get help from another member of the guild and follow his instructions to solve the quest. If I helped this mage, he would just reveal where the cat was for me, and all I had to do in return was steal some special book from the head mage's desk. The guide even went to the point of making sure I used the knock spell to unlock the desk. I suppose to just fit in with the whole mage theme. But I got the book. The cat was discovered.
But I just found you.
Ready to find Jaskar?
I found him, though.
And I received my first of 7 recommendations. Alright, this Breville recommendation pissed me off. I low-key just wanted to quit like this entire video because of it. That's how much time I wasted trying to figure this stupid thing out. All I had to do for this quest was figure out what happened to a guild member's stuff, as the head mage suspected this other guild member had stolen it. But after following the game guide to a T, using persuasion, scrolls, and even violence, I still couldn't get the information I needed to continue the quest.
Something done broke.
Turns out, the game was bugged, and I had to complete the miscellaneous quest through a nightmare darkly before the main lady would give me the proper dialogue options to continue. A mission, by the way, that ended up being one of my favorites in the game. So, there is that.
Fuck you. No, I'm beating your ass up.
The rest of the quest was over pretty quickly, with the book giving me key locations I needed in order to locate the missing staff and return it. And I was finally able to complete this 5-minute quest and just move on to Shadenhall. Out of all my recommendation quests, the book highlighted that I should pay close attention to this one in particular, and that, quote, it's a pivotal moment in the story of the Mages Guild. After arriving at the guild hall, I spoke to the head mage and discovered that not only would I not be getting my recommendation, he's also a giant cunt. To prove I was a mage worthy of his recommendation and could have the honor of joining the Mages Guild, Baggy, the mage in training, would have to jump down a well and collect a ring. Yeah, you know what? Very, very fucking magical, dick. However, before I could jump in and rub the stupid quest in the head mage's face, another member pulled me aside and told me that I needed to be careful. This lunatic of a head mage keeps sending recommendation mages into this well for this random ring, and none of them ever return. I consulted the game guide for answers, and it requested that before I dive into the well, I should drop off all of my heavy items and have the lowest amount of weight possible. I discovered once I was inside the well that this was a ring of encumbrance, and it added 150 kilograms of weight for just being held in my inventory, which had I not prepared for earlier, would have pinned me underwater and caused me to drown. I returned with the goal of suplexing this prick through a window, but was stopped by the same mage who warned me from earlier. She had one more task for me, and if I could help her, she would be able to write me a recommendation instead. All I had to do was break into the headmaster's quarters and gather any evidence of this man's wrongdoing, which was actually incredibly easy because shittily hidden within his room was a black soul gem, one that is outlawed within all of Cyrodiil. Womp womp. I got this dick kicked out of the guild forever, and I was awarded with this lovely letter recommending me to the Archmage headquarters in the city. In something that was a little bit more slower paced, and equally nothing really to do with magic, the Anvil Guild wanted me to try and help an investigation of this merchant serial killer who was suspected to be a mage. I was tasked with meeting an informant at the inn just outside of town, and I would be posing as a merchant for bait. I didn't even need the book to tell me immediately upon entering that this random lady in mage's clothing asking about what I'm doing here, my job, and being super nice to me was in fact the killer. I did, however, act my part. I got intel that battle mages would be covering me on my journey the next day. I stayed at the inn overnight, and I headed off in the morning.
Alright, off I go. Just a traveling merchant. On my way to Kvatch on the Gold Road. I sure hope I don't get murdered.
Within about 30 seconds of leaving the inn, I kid you not, the super sussy lady from before just came up to me and wanted to magic the shit out of me.
Oh, what is this? A lady from the inn. How peculiar.
Afraid your journey ends here, traveler.
The book actually had some very interesting advice for this encounter, and although it warned me that these ladies' spells were strong, a mace to the face is stronger.
You're going nowhere.
Killer dealt with, and recommendation earned. And we were finally getting closer to getting our way within the guild. In the same trend as before, this quest was just laughably easy, and I finished it within record time. Like before, a member of the guild had gone missing. But instead of being invisible, this guild member was in some remote cave nearby. I cleared it out of all the zombie inhabitants and saved the poor guy. The book told me to not even bother trying to escort him back and that he'd figure it out. And with that recommendation quest was finished. This was the first quest that ramped up in difficulty. And when I say ramped, I mean by like a small incline. I found the Leowyn head mage in bed, spouting absolute nonsense. And I soon discovered that her special amulet had gone missing, and now she was just left in this weird state. I spoke to another weird member of the guild, who was very obviously the bad guy.
She shouldn't even be here anymore.
And I also found the location of where a similar amulet was being held. I cleared out this dungeon, and I also happened to find some more amazing loot. Once cleared, and with the amulet in hand, I went to go return to the guild, but I was blocked face to face by the stupid weird guy from before.
Oh!
Just stop
Oh
right
my
there,
god.
all right?
Scared the shit out of me.
The book's advice for this fight was also pretty funny, because it just asked me to do the same thing I did to the mage serial killer from just before. Get in close before they can react and beat them to death.
Knockout!
I returned the amulet, and I was on my way to my last recommendation quest. In a weird turn of events, the last recommendation quest actually had me use a bit of magic. The head mage of Coral wanted me to retrieve a magic book from a student who had taken it without asking. Once I confronted the student, she told me about how she needed it for important research, and if I helped her with said research, she would just return it. But before I knew it, Baggy was halfway up the mountain, trying to hit this random pillar in this random snowy mountain with a shock spell. Here, I shocked the pillar and received a new shock spell and some damage the guide tried to warn me about. I went back to hand in the quest, however the guidebook gave me two options on who I should hand the original book to. So I gave it back to the head mage, got my recommendation from him, then I stole it back and gave it back to the original lady. With those quests being done, I was soon on my way to becoming the newest non-magical member of the Cyrodiil Mages Guild. Now that I had completed my quests, I entered the Mages Guild within the Imperial City and spoke to Raminus to start my official training. But before I could be considered a true member, I had to obtain my wizard staff. I was meant to go to this island, not too far from the Imperial City, to obtain some special wood that could construct my staff. Once I arrived, I found 2 guild members dead and the cave filled with necromancers. I cleared the cave and collected the wood I needed for the staff. Then I returned to inform the guild of the news. Despite what had happened, Raminus still wanted me to get my staff made, so I went to the staff vendor within the Mage Guild area and on the book's request, made a staff of a skill that I'm not too experienced with. And thus, I was given my new Mysticism Telekinesis staff, which I just soon put in a chest and just never thought of again. However, for the Mages Guild and Baggy, the troubles were only just beginning, and things were about to take an unexpected turn. The guild's next task was to do some reconnaissance of the Count of Skingrad, to ensure that the guild and this count had some sort of alliance still. Entering the court, I spoke to the assistant, who told me that the count would only meet with me outside of town at an abandoned mineshaft at 2 AM, so shocking absolutely no one. Once I arrived at the requested time, the assistant tried to jump me.
Creepy guy in a hood meeting me at nighttime. Sort of looks, well, there's a couple of them.
But with Baggy's exceptional combat skills,
So you see, these are my secret boys. Not actually a mage.
and the help of a motherfucking vampire count.
Oh shit, wait, old mate's here.
We dispatched him and his men quickly. But yeah, it's cool because he's a sick cunt, and also he helps the Mages Guild, so in exchange we keep his secret. So far, I had completed the Mages Guild without the use of pretty much any spells the entire time. But this mission was quickly going to rectify that with a cool story, a puzzle, and a dungeon crawl. A group of mages had been stuck trying to decipher this Ayleid ruin puzzle, and Raminus figured his newly promoted mage with 0 magical skills would be the perfect person to crack the puzzle. I arrived and found a pillar with a bunch of weird magical symbols scattered across the room. Luckily, the book went very in depth on how to actually solve the puzzle, and even recommended that I stand in the doorway to avoid getting zapped if I make a mistake. To unlock the puzzle, I simply had to use a series of spells that matched the type of symbol. So after some more spell shopping and some inventory fucking around, I managed to solve the puzzle and unlock a secret passageway in the floor.
I'm the best. I'm brown. Nothing's ever gonna keep me down.
Wherein, I got stuck trying to open this stupid cage for much longer than I'd like to publicly disclose.
God damn it.
I seriously though have no idea how 2006 gamers figured this shit out, because even with the book right in front of me, I still struggled. My next mission was to learn more about what the necromancers were even up to, as their assault earlier and reports of their increasing presence is getting concerning. Raminus sent me to another guild member who had a book possibly outlining another necromancer hideout. My goal was simply just to do some recon and learn what they were up to. Once I arrived at the cave at the book's desired time, I watched as a necromancer left the cave and started a ritual outside the altar to create a black soul gem.
Come on, bruh. Do the thing.
After learning what I could, I put him down and approached the altar. The guide informed me that the altar could actually be used by the player character to create grand black soul gems. If I approach at midnight at a certain time of the week, place a grand soul gem inside, and used a dispel magic spell on the altar, I could make as many as I wanted.
It worked.
A detail that I thought was so fucking cool, and something that the game never even mentioned was possible. It's such a cool detail, and without this book, I 100% would have never known this was even possible. Not to brag, but at this point, Baggy's become a pretty big deal in the Magic community. Within 3 days of in-game time, he has gone from a nobody with 0 magical skills to now one of their most arch and loyal magicians with just very limited magical skills. Raminus didn't have anything left for me to do, so he sent me up the food chain to start dealing with the archmage of the guild directly. The first mission Hannibal Traven sent me on was kinda wild. Turns out Big Dog had an informant working inside the necromancer cult the entire time. But when he sent guys to extract his informant out of there, both the VIP and the extraction squad never returned. As I approached the location and went inside the cave, the book gave me a fun yet ominous warning along the lines of, "You'll meet one of the mages who set foot into the ruin the moment you enter. Don't follow him." And sure enough, after old mate gave me the sit rep on what the fuck happened to our informant and his team, my guy charged headfirst into battle only to step on a spike trap and get impaled to the roof immediately.
And that would be why. Womp womp.
After clearing the cave of all the evil wizards,
fucking mages, why do you confront me with no armor, no nothing?
I found a lever which opened a secret door that was trapping my target, who was now more zombified and dead than originally described.
Oh, I found him. Oh, they turned him into a fucking zombie.
I sent him off to have a quick meeting with his colleagues, and I returned to relay the news. Our archmage had one more trick up his sleeve, and it required me to visit an old friend. My vampire boy that saved me earlier would actually have information on the necromancer's whereabouts, and we could finally find out what the hell is going on. But it was gonna cost me. Nosferatu would only help us if we got rid of these vampire hunters that had taken residence within the town. Except, if I outright kill them, there's nothing he can do to stop the guards from attacking me.
Stop! You violated the law.
Again, the game guide highlighted some cool solutions to this quest, and of course, I went with its recommended plan of attack. I could just kill the vampire hunters, or clear the cave of vampires and convince the hunters to leave, or, and as the book encourages, inform the hunters of the location of a vampire cave and let whatever happens, happen. This option I chose is actually a non-scripted event that the book has no way of predicting. It states that if I wait a couple days, I should either see a quest pop up saying that either all the hunters have been killed, or all the vampires have been killed and the hunters have left. The guide warned me though that it is possible for me not to hear anything, and if that was the case, I would need to go back into the cave and mop up whatever was left. Wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, come on, boys. Fuck him up. Hit him. Get him. Get him.
But after filling the cave with more dead things, I returned for my information, and I was dropped the lore bomb of the century. The necromancer cult that's been invading Cyrodiil is actually the cult of the worm. Why have I heard that before? Well, it's led by no other than Menamarco.
Oh shit, Menamarco.
The undead necromancer lynch guy that has apparently been in all the games prior, but I know him best as the bad guy from Elder Scrolls Online. He's like the main villain of the base game. Knowing that ESO is technically canon and takes place thousands of years before the mainline games made this reveal really fucking cool and gave me a deeper appreciation for Oblivion and its MMO counterpart.
I ain't gonna quiet down. If it bugs your ass, get the fuck out, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck.
This lore revelation starts the end of the Mages Guild questline, but this next quest propels this faction to one of my all-time favorites in any Scrolls game. Just like how people remember Riverwood so fondly, I have a lot of those same feelings for Bruma. It's the first town the book wanted me to explore. Its architecture and design feel very different to the rest of the game, and even more Nordic. And whether it's through the main story, the side quests, or even the start of the Mages Guild itself, I keep finding myself coming back. This town is what I, and probably a lot of other players, consider their home. So when I returned back to the Archmage to find out that the Bruma Mages Guild has gone completely dark amidst a possible worm cult invasion, you bet your ass it's personal. I made my way through the gates and approached the Bruma Mages Guild. Everything seemed perfect on the outside. However, once I entered, just like Childish Gambino in that one episode of Community, everything was completely fucked and on fire.
Oh shit, not the Bruma place. You kidding me?
The place had been set alight. Corpses of my former friends littered the ground.
No! That was the guy that fucking helped me find the cat!
And the way through to the head mage's office had been buried under rubble. My goal now was just to see if anyone survived.
Why'd you do that to fucking Bruma, bro? Bruma's dealt with enough bullshit.
Until I finally reached the head office to find the Bruma Archmage dead on the floor. Before I had time to process just how fucking wild of a quest chain this was, I found my Khajiit guy from before, alive and cowering in the corner.
What the hell? Oh! Sky, you're alive!
Turns out Mr. Invisible was doing just that, and this time it saved his life. I managed to escort him out of the building as he informed me of what was happening. Menamarco himself had just come into Bruma and slaughtered everyone, and just left my cat friend alive as a warning to me and the guild. I've killed this cunt once in ESO, and man, let me tell you, I'm ready to do it again. The next two quests involve tracking down the location of two powerful artifacts the guild had sent out, in the hopes of it not being captured in the event of a worm assault on the Imperial City Mages Tower. The issue was, however, one of our guild members was actually a double agent and had betrayed us. Giving one artifact away,
Today, I'm going to be giving my 40 millionth subscriber all 40 of these
artifacts,
and getting the second one caught out in the crossfire.
I'm gonna break your jaw with a mace.
I eventually retrieved both the helmet and the amulet, with the only words of advice from the guide being to use each respective artifact when I went out to retrieve the other.
So now I'm versing a bunch of naked fucking mages, cool.
The guild was setting up an ambush on none other than the former Archmage of Cheydinhal. Yeah, that dick that tried to kill me before in the well, he's been working for the Cult of the Worm this entire time, and thus needed to pay. Once I arrived, I had the option of choosing how to set up the ambush, with the guide even going as in-depth as to inform me on which NPC was best suited for what position and why. During this ambush, Dickhead will immediately run for the ruin he just left, and if he enters the cave, you'll have to clear out the entire cave and just go get him.
Go 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 go. Bop, missed.
Or, according to the book, if I was quick enough, I could hit him with an encumbrance or a paralyzation spell, and I could quickly kill him before he reached the ruins and warned the others. So after a few too many fractures in the baggy Oblivion timeline...
Are you shitting my pants right now?
I finally got him slowed just long enough to kill him.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, you ain't making it out, bro.
He dropped some gear, a black soul gem, but most importantly, a note holding the location of where Menamarco was hiding. I made my way back to the Mage's Tower to relay the good news, when Hannibal started explaining the plan.
Are you truly prepared for this task?
If I had a nickel for every time a faction quest character, towards the end of the quest line, themselves in some fucking uncalled for grisly fashion, I'd have 2 fucking nickels. Which is crazy, because in order for Menamarco to not turn me into a mindless zombie thrall, like he did the informant from before, we needed the power of a filled black soul gem, like the one we collected from that dick mage. And to power said gem, we would need a human soul. So our fearless leader just straight up himself with magic, trapping his soul within the gem in order to ensure my victory.
What do you mean, Fit? What are you doing? What? What? He just fucking killed himself. What the hell? Oh, I get it. He filled the black soul gem. Travin, you're a fucking dickhead. You know that? There was probably an easier way to do that than kill himself.
An absolutely wild turn of events I just never saw coming. With no time to lose, I fast traveled to my target location. I cleared the entrance and ended up fighting my way through the cave. I was expecting a challenge, but honestly at this point, with how unarmored these wizards were and how powerful I was getting, closing the distance and giving them the left-right goodnight combo was doing all the work I needed.
Necromancers really suck. Do something. It's like your only chance. Nope, you're dead. Yeah, then fucking say that in my face, bitch. My first mudcrab's more fiercer than you.
I finally found the location of Minimarco.
What's up, motherfucker? Here to meet your maker?
And once he finished his big bad evil guy monologue, and he realized he couldn't turn me into a mindless zombie, the depravity of the situation started to sink in for him.
Dear, I didn't mean to imply that you have a choice.
I'm gonna bludgeon you to death like Glenn.
He created this like bone ring around me to try and trap me in, but it didn't matter.
I'm not trapped in here with you.
You're trapped in here with me, motherfucker.
I quickly collapsed on this guy, and in seconds, he was destroyed. I picked up his staff of worms.
Minimarco, what are you doing?
And then I headed back to the Mages Guild. With the head necromancer's death, it was all finally over. And since every important figure to the guild had been killed throughout my journey, logically the magician that enrolled less than a week ago that never really casted a spell the entire time was the right fit for the position of leader of the Mages Guild. My reward for such a promotion was a penthouse spire apartment with the ability to create spells, an enchanting table, and a chest that could duplicate any ingredients I put inside.
And I got the Archmage set up.
Overall in Oblivion, I'm learning that it's incredibly quick and easy to climb the corporate ladder, but I'm curious if that will still even be the case when I'm faced with the more unlawful side of the city, with the Oblivion Thieves Guild.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagoo. And then I woke up the next day and got some gabagoo. Keep waking up and keep getting different types of gabagoo. I even got some gabagoo from a Scooby-Doo.
Don't see me, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me.
To start this quest, I did a quick glance through the Thieves Guild section of the book to get a rough understanding of where to even go from here. I assumed that this game was the same as Skyrim and had their own faction building just somewhere out in the world. And at this point, I was kind of surprised that I hadn't even seen anything remotely hinting towards where they could be or how to start the quest line, outside of these like grey fox posters I've seen scattered around the world. I wandered towards a secluded corner of the Imperial City docks, where I found a group of people standing around in torchlight and waiting.
Another scoundrel who served time in an Imperial jail. The Grey Fox is offering you a chance to join the Thieves Guild.
But if Baggy wanted to join among those ranks, he would need to compete in a competition to prove that he has what it takes. The goal was to steal an item from a local in town. However, I wouldn't be given any more information other than that.
You've got to have other connections, huh?
Yet again, the book expressed all the ways this quest could pan out, and the avenues the book recommends you take for this playthrough. I was in a race with an Aragonian and a woman to steal the item.
Keep walking. Keep fucking walking, bro. You bitch! You bitch!
And when you start, the woman exclaims that she knows exactly where she's going and runs off. But rather than follow her, the book wants you to speak to a local beggar and toss them a coin. And they will reveal to you the location of the item, including where in the house it's even hidden. From that point on, the book urges you to fast travel to the correct zone and run as quickly as you can into the house. Break in, steal the item, and return. The book also highlighted that Old Mate Lizard would pose no threat to your victory whatsoever, and should not be taken seriously at all. A trend that the poor bastard had for the rest of the Thieves Guild questline. After wrapping up that quest,
Congratulations, you have returned with the diary.
I decided to go to sleep in my house down the road and level up, but I was awoken by an event that genuinely confused and startled me.
You sleep rather soundly for a murderer.
But we can talk about that soon.
Who did I murder?
Continuing on, since I won that race, I was now an official member of the Thieves Guild. But I wouldn't be able to continue any more quests until I had fenced 100 gold worth of high value items to prove I was up to the task. So during my research, I did discover that there are a lot of ways to breeze past this formality, and even the book stated that you should just straight up fence a total of 1,000 gold straight away, so you're able to do the next 10 quests without interruption. But I wanted to try and give this the authentic experience it deserved, and I delved in my guidebook for more answers. With the book disclosing a series of different locations in the game with secret caches designed for this very quest step, sorta similar to those random houses you could find in Skyrim with the thieves markings. So I started with the most valuable place on this list, and headed to a random guy's house in Anvil. Once I successfully broke in,
What the shouldn't you be in bed or something?
I stole anything that wasn't nailed down and found the cache containing all of my high value gear.
Oh, that's what they wanted me to grab.
I escaped, made my way to Bruma, and fenced everything, making the 1,000 gold total easily, and giving me the ability to continue the guild at my own pace. The next 2 guild quests were pretty stock standard for this faction. The first one had me sneaking into a guard tower and planting some evidence, which went fine except for this like super weird and intimidating bug.
Okay. You guys are all asleep, right?
And another one getting me to steal a bust within a tomb that was haunted by ghosts, and then planting it on another guild member who we believed was a guard spy. Despite these quests beginning to set up the future events of the faction, even the book didn't have too many nuggets of wisdom to guide me through. Now that I have been promoted within the guild a couple times, I have finished up all the work a thief of my level can do with Armand. So now I was sent to do tasks with Scriva instead. And oh boy, her first mission was intense. All I had to do was find a ring that had gone missing, but the quest just kept getting crazier and crazier as we progressed.
What the fuck is wrong with this lady?
I made my way to Leowin and spoke to the beggar in question. With a high disposition, they told me about how the ring was taken by a thief who got caught, and now was locked up in the city prison with the ring, but warned me that the thief didn't have long before the Countess of the city would do something. I followed the book's advice of bribing a guard and made it into the jail cells, and behold, the thief in question was the Aragonian guy from the start.
Why should I tell you where it is?
You see, this is all kind of my fault. Because I won earlier, he wasn't actually accepted into the guild, so he decided to try his luck out on his own, but the item he stole was just too damn hot, and he got caught with it. He informed me that now the Count has taken the ring for herself, but he knows of a secret way through the castle to get to her room, so I could just sneak in and get it back. I gave our guy a lockpick so he could eventually escape with it, and I made my way to the castle kitchen. Within a barrel was a lever that opened a door, which led me through a secret tunnel, and eventually a secret basement. Now, what's in said basement, you may ask? A fucking Aragonian torture chamber.
Oh my god, why? Why would you do this?
This chick was so fucking racist that any Aragonians that she could get her hands on would be tortured and killed.
What the actual fuck is wrong with her? She's torturing cunts in here?
To the point where she commissioned a secret tunnel from the prison to the basement so she could do this in private. Like, what the actual fuck is going on, Bethesda? Like, listen, I know Skyrim was racist, but I was like 11 when I was playing that shit, alright? Now I'm in my mid-20s and... oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I snuck through the main castle foyer and successfully stole the ring and completed the quest. Not before finding an optional lore book talking about an Elder Scroll. The game guide highlighted it as an important piece of literature to read, and I shouldn't leave the castle without finding it. However, it made a common trend of ensuring I found extra lore books and notes that can give some insight into future missions and even entirely new dialogue options. Another feature I thought was super cool and yet again would completely miss had I not been reading this guide. From there, I was sent to do a devious lick on a staff within the Mages Guild because our main guard antagonist Lex was cracking down on all the people at the waterfront in an attempt to find the guild. So if I and all the other thieves coordinated some robberies across the city, the guards would have no choice but to relent. Being the fucking archmage of the Mages Guild, I was able to just stroll on in, take the magical staff, and pick up another piece of missable lore and continue. But hey, that's another win for our Master Thief Orc.
Great success.
For my next adventure, I had to do a mission for the leader of the Thieves Guild himself, the Grey Fox, who up until this point had been mentioned a load of times, but not much more information was given, outside of the fact that he makes sure the guild protects beggars and that no one really knows who he is. All he wanted me to do was obtain a special book that another member had failed to retrieve, and off Baggy went to talk to more beggars and learn what he could. I discovered that my objective was yet again in prison, and the book's solution to my problem was to just get a job. An insult and a suggestion I took personally. Once I poorly negotiated my employment contract, I was able to waltz into the prison and find out what happened to this book. Yet again, my poor Aragonian guy from the start had been imprisoned, but this time he was taken by a mysterious figure who was dripping blood.
Uh-oh.
I followed the blood trail and it led me to a makeshift vampire lair. I staked the shit out of him and saved old mate yet again, and in exchange he gave me the location of the book the fox was after, and a promise that he would finally try to join the guild for real this time. Finally, it was time to wrap up my quest with Screever, and her final task was no pushover. She wanted me to eliminate Lex, and just as I was about to leave and go kill him, she reminded me that we are in fact better than the Dark Brotherhood, and we will not kill Lex, but rather get him promoted far, far away from the Imperial City. And all I had to do to make sure this happened was sabotage the Imperial Legion Corpo ladder.
If I need your body, I'll fucking...
Arriving in Anvil, I spoke to a beggar who led me to a blacksmith friend of the guild, who then led me to a secret passage into the castle, which after some fucking around...
Just go in there. Wait a minute. Just get in there. Yep. Get in there. Quick. Yes! There's no fucking way that worked.
Led me to a lockbox so I could steal the documents I needed. I then went and got the letter forged and swapped the letter back like nothing ever happened. I spoke to the Count of Anvil, who was impressed by Lex's new glowing guard recommendation, and he was swiftly promoted and moved out of the Imperial City at once. The book also wanted me to throw some shade at this poor woman I trapped in the wall, because she too tried to get someone promoted and failed miserably. So before leaving the Count, I weaseled my way into a gold tip. I had to go collect it from the lady I had just fucked over. Baggy served cunt that day, and you can't change my mind. Like Gronk said that one time in The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Because words of my accomplishment and promotions within the guild have reached the Big Fox himself, and it was now my turn to meet the man and do some work for him in person now. This interaction would start the final chapter of the Thieves Guild, and ended in a twist I truly never saw coming. I arrived in Bruma and found the fox in some random's house.
Whoa!
And he explained that he wanted me to steal a relic from some moth priests high up in the mountains. You see, these priests are all blind, so in theory, as long as I don't make too much noise, this should be incredibly easy. I climbed up the mountain, rizzed up a priest, and made my way inside. I cautiously snuck through and made it to the priest with the relic. Before extracting my prize, I found another hidden book the guide told me about, which upon return,
see you later, blind idiot,
gave me an extra dialogue option with the Grey Fox, where I could ask him directly about the cowl he wears. Nothing really changed in this next mission. However, the pieces of the puzzle are slowly starting to come together. The Grey Fox has a plan to do the big one. Sort of like Lester in GTA 5, but less creepy. One giant heist that would leave a lasting impact on Tamriel forever, which is why he needed all of those random items and isn't telling you their purpose. So the next adventure he sent Baggy on was to retrieve the Arrow of Extraction from this mage's tower. A piece crucial in the Fox's plan. So after some more talking to beggars, I snuck inside the castle and found a secret entrance to this tower.
I hate this.
I battled this giant secret slaughterfish that the guide had warned me about.
What the fuck is this thing? Kill it. This is what the book talked about. This thing is scary. Kill it.
And I made my way through the tower and successfully collected what I had come for.
Yeah, cool. This guy's an idiot.
After finding the fox yet again in another random's house, the next item he ordered me to collect was the boots of Spring-Heeled Jack. Supposedly, these boots are super crucial to his heist and super old, but the fox believes that it's owned by some random guy in the Imperial City. So I find my man, break into his desk, and learn that the boots are buried within their owner's crypt. Baggy arrives at the crypt and discovers that the boots are still missing, and then bang! The real Spring-Heeled Jack appears, a vampire no less. I kill him, take the boots, and find another piece of lore the book wanted me to grab, which had a shocking revelation. Spring-Heeled Jack and the Grey Fox have worked together before, which makes the fox immortal or really old. So, like any good employee, I returned with my item and confronted the boss, and he tells me that the cow is the Grey Fox, and that he is just one of the many people that have continued its name, which yet again is this really cool lore drop I did not see coming. And I think you can actually totally miss it, but please correct me if I'm wrong. With these items collected, it was time to execute the Fox's master plan.
Are you ready for one last great heist?
Yes!
And add another page in the history books for Baggy, because our target was a motherfucking Elder Scroll.
He said it!
Like the name of the game. The scroll that has the power to make the reader go back in time and change the future. Like what? So it started with me sneaking into the Imperial City Palace basement to activate the Glass of Time, a relic that could open up a secret passage in the sewers. The basement also housed these like giant artifacts that the book said nothing about. I'm not really sure what's going on there, so lore nerds, please do your thing. From there, I navigated the sewers and found the entrance I had unlocked, which led me to this Ayleid ruin under the city. From here, it was the usual dungeon dive, until I made it to the Hall of Epochs. My goal within the ruin was to shoot the Arrow of Extraction from earlier into a small keylock on the statue, something the book warned me I only had one attempt at.
Shit.
So after 1 hour of saving and timeline altering, I got the arrow in and made my way into the palace proper.
What the fuck is going on? Ah!
Here I entered through a secret passage in the fireplace, while guards were all sleeping around me. I snuck through and made it to the library where the scroll was being kept. And now, the easy part. The fox had actually organized for an individual to check out the scroll. So as long as I didn't speak, the blind moth priest guarding the scroll would just hand it over willingly. I ascended the spiraling staircase.
Whoa, this place is sick.
Sat down and waited nervously for what would happen next.
I present to you the Elder Scroll you requested.
The moth priest handed over the scroll, which I casually collected, and I began my escape. Things from that point, though, went completely tits up, and it wasn't too long before a guard discovered me, and I had to run for my life.
This was the wrong move.
Wearing the boots, I managed to quickly outrun the guards and make my way to the exit, a tunnel which dropped me from a crazy height, destroying the boots of Spring Hill Jack, but saving my life in the process. And just like that, I, Baggy, had just stolen a motherfucking Elder Scroll. All that was left was for me to return to the Grey Fox and finally get some answers. Upon my return, I spoke to the fox once more, and despite already achieving the impossible, he had one more task for me: to seek out the Count of Anvil and deliver her this ring. I fast-traveled to Anvil and delivered the ring promptly.
You fucking prick.
When finally, everything was answered. The Countess, upon receiving the ring, was confused as to how I even obtained it.
He's been missing for over 10
Oh
years.
shit.
For some reason, his name and face escape me.
And then suddenly, a man walked into the court. A man claiming to be the Count's husband, and also the Grey Fox.
I am also your missing husband, Corvus.
Corvus? Is it really you?
Turns out the cowl of the Grey Fox, like we discovered earlier, is the Grey Fox. So when the person wears the cowl, the person underneath just ceases to exist. So for like 5+ years, he's been trapped as the Grey Fox, unable to reunite with his love, sort of similar to the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. But this fucking legend used his time instead to plan the perfect heist, to steal an Elder Scrolls and rewrite history in order to make me the new Grey Fox and return him to the life he once had. Like, baller fucking move, you can't even be mad. That was amazing. That was 10 out of 10 for the Grey Fox. And furthermore, I had just become the leader of the Thieves Guild and obtained the cowl to use at my own leisure, an item that once worn would buff all of my sneak skills, grant life detection, and most importantly, make me someone else. So any crimes, heat, or reputation loss would be tied to the mask and not Baggy. The Fox also rewrote that the guild has an actual hideout now, which was a nice touch. Overall, this faction quest was a wild time, and I couldn't wait to see what the Dark Brotherhood had in store for me, which is really good news, because apparently I had already started to join the cult. When the fuck did that happen?
Nah, it's a cult. It's a cult. There's a cult, it's a sector. It's a cult. There you go.
I seriously need to rethink all of my life choices.
So, some background information. Do you guys remember earlier in the Thieves Guild segment where something weird happened? And do you remember earlier in the Mages Guild quest during the ambush where I went and jumped that dickhead necromancer? Well, after wrapping up the starter Thieves Guild quest, I decided to go to sleep in my house down the road and level up, when I was genuinely awoken and startled by a man named Lucien Lechance. He told me that I had killed an innocent, and if I was willing to go one step further, he could possibly recruit me into the Dark Brotherhood of Cyrodiil. Keep in mind at this point, I had zero fucking clue how this happened.
What the dark? No, this isn't the timeline. I didn't kill anyone. Who the fuck did I kill?
So, time skipping now to the present. The last thing I needed to tackle for the book was the Dark Brotherhood, and now having made contact, it was just a matter of finding my target Lechance wanted me to eliminate and picking up the quest from there. I located the inn where my target was hiding and looked to the book for advice. The guide yet again recommended that I speak to my target and confront him as to why he's even hiding in the inn.
Tonight's the night, and it's going to happen again and again.
I suppose this is an attempt to try and get the full story and justify why I'm even doing these random murders. A reoccurring tradition the guide will have me do throughout this entire questline. I confronted our man, I gave him the old mace whack, and I left the room with the patrons none the wiser.
Piece of shit.
To add insult to injury and progress the quest, I went downstairs and brought a room and slept, in order to talk to Lucien again, where I was then officially knighted as a member of the Dark Brotherhood, and asked to meet my new brothers in their secret lair within Cheydinhall. I arrived at this big scary door and said a special code word that let me into the clubhouse. Here I got to speak to a lot of the members, including some asshole merchant, these cool Aragonian shadow scale assassins, and I met with this elder vampire who was now giving me my next set of assassination contracts. My first official contract was actually pretty cool. I had to sneak my way on board a pirate ship and assassinate its captain, and to do so, the game guide told me about a crate along the dock I could hide in order to sneak on board. After some time, they placed the crate on the ship, and I snuck out. I eavesdropped on an important conversation and used an invisibility potion to sneak past the guard. Inside the captain quarters, I Negan Sleeping Beauty and made a dramatic exit through the back of the ship before anyone could help. My next target had me traveling to Bruma to assassinate some old man, and although I could just go in there and just be done with it, if I could do it unseen, I would get a bonus, and the game guide had a brilliant plan on how to accomplish just that, with some extra hidden lore at the end for my troubles. The book says that there's a secret passage within the wall of the house. I could loosen the straps of this wall-hanging mount and drop it on my target's head.
Michael, don't leave me.
So like an angel of death, Baggy did just that.
Whoopsie daisy.
And snuck back out flawlessly. This quest reminded me a lot of that early Skyrim Dark Brotherhood quest, where you like push the gargoyle at the wedding, and I can see where that totally got its inspiration. But for now, I had another quest to complete, and a bonus to collect. Alright, guys, listen. I'm going to make a controversial statement. Out of all the faction quests I have played thus far, this next quest I'm doing will probably go down as one of my favorites, just for how simple and yet impactful it felt to me. My next target was to assassinate a prisoner who had been imprisoned in the Imperial Jail, Valen Durf, aka the racist asshole that was mocking Baggy from the very start of the game. The book even mentioned earlier that I could pay this guy a visit when I joined the Brotherhood, but that was like almost 40 hours of game time ago, and I had honestly completely forgotten about this guy. My task was to sneak back through the same tunnels I escaped, and put this prick down once and for all, while having the opportunity to learn a little bit more about what happened after the Emperor's assassination. Using a mix of sneak, invisibility pots, and luck, I made my way through the prison, pickpocketed the guard's keys, read the note about the Emperor's death, and left the room. From there, I made it to my original cell, where this all started.
It's fucking hype. We're back in the original prison cell where we started. That's so cool.
And once the guard left, I made myself known and completed my task. A task I might have had a bit too much fun with in hindsight.
Yeah, I'm reloading. Just so I can beat you again.
But a task complete nonetheless. And with my flawless execution of the execution, I had earned myself a bonus and some more goodwill within the Brotherhood. My next contract also happened to coincide with a missable miscellaneous quest. Try saying that 3 times fast. So at the guy's instructions, I completed both of these simultaneously. But I'll start with the contract. I was sent to actually stop an assassination from happening, in kind of this ingenious way. My target had been put into a lot of debt and already had someone gunning for him. So with the use of a special poison, I was to make it look like I already killed the man, then wake him up a bit later in the family crypt. On the way back, I made it to my side quest location of the Renegade Shadowscale, where I was tasked with killing one of my Brotherhood's hatchling mates that had gone rogue. I decided to spare this Aragonian because I low-key love these guys, and because the book informed me that keeping him alive rewards the most loot.
And I'll tell you where I stashed my treasure.
Treasure? 500 gold. Nice.
With these missions finished, I got my gold, and I had the option of even being turned into a vampire if I so choose. And I was finally sent on my way to meet Ochiva for my next set of quests. Round of applause, guys, because 100% we're starting off strong with this next quest. Because my next target was a high elf skooma addict.
Oh shit.
Ordinarily, this would be a pretty straightforward mission, but yet again, the book had a unique solution that I wanted to see play out. First, it recommended that I speak to some people within the Brotherhood for advice. I was told that these high elves all know each other, and the best bet to finding where my junkie even is would be to ask other high elves in the Imperial City. I arrived in the city and asked around until I found my way to this high-class inn. I located my target's girlfriend, and she just told me my target's basic day-to-day schedule, proving that if a junkie can get a girlfriend, anyone can.
You actually are a crackhead. What does that woman see in you?
I could just call it there and try and find a nice rooftop to snipe him from, but the guide had other ideas. Through the power of reading, I learnt that if I presented this guy with some skooma, I would become his new best friend. He would drop his guard and he would invite me to a secluded house perfect for the crime. All I had to do was just get skooma, and luckily for me, the book told me about a house nearby that already had what I needed just laying out on a table. So, I just became BFFs with this junkie, and he invited me into his skooma den.
My special place? It's not, you know, very far.
Bro, what the actual fuck?
So I repaid his kindness with a swift mace to the head and returned to the Brotherhood victorious, that I pretty much had just deleted the Oblivion equivalent of a heroin addict.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
This contract was actually pretty fun, and it finally let me test out the Grey Fox cowl I received earlier. All I had to do was sneak inside this warlord's fortress and swap out his life-saving medicine for life-ending poison. And outside of this one unbelievable moment,
this master's pretty good.
I was in and out of that quest in no time. Okay, so Bethesda and the writing team behind this book absolutely peaked here, as this next quest was really unique and had so many different ways it could be completed. The mission premise was also fucking awesome. All of my targets would be locked inside a house under the guise of a treasure hunt. I had to just go inside, lock the door behind me, and do what I do best. But that's boring, and the game guide agreed, because you know what would be way more fun than just killing my targets? Getting everyone else in the house to do it for me.
Point at me. You were pointing first.
So I went around the party and introduced myself, and started to learn a little bit about who's who. I also made sure to follow the book's instructions as to what dialogue to pick and when. Once I befriended one of the guests, I lured them away to a secluded room and killed them. Then returned to the party and watched the chaos unfold.
I think Matilda found the gold, and one of the others killed her for it.
Eventually leading to the last two guests duking it out, with me just waiting to kill whoever won.
Let's get him. Oh, damn.
We did it, my friend. The killer is dead. The only one.
But after some more digging, I learned that there are so many other ways this quest can actually play out. And I thought this level of detail for a game this old was just amazing. If you guys have done this quest, please let me know what happened. I'm curious to know every possibility that can happen.
Yes, we must kill that foul Nord before he slits our throats. Aye!
This house is a death trap.
It was now time for me to remove our main faction antagonist off the board. But this time, because I'm in the Dark Brotherhood, I could just straight up kill them. To do this, I was given a special arrowhead that would instantly kill my target as long as I hit them while they were unarmored. In some coincidental cosmic luck, the target is the only NPC in the game that likes to take these 3 PM daily swims within the Leyawind pool.
Love it. What a great routine. It's important to keep up with routines, I say.
I made it to an adjacent rooftop and I this fuck, took his finger and planted it within the guardhouse for extra credit. With these quests done, Baggy was finally ready for his big promotion, and in turn was sent to go find Lucien LeChance in his underground hideout to find what the Brotherhood needed from him next. You'd think by this point, like 50 hours in, I'd be ready for pretty much anything. But nothing prepared me for what this quest forced me to do. And yet again, this game guide's recommended solution for this quest was unlike anything I had ever done in a Bethesda game. And I was shocked that Bethesda were doing this kind of stuff 20 years ago, but now the best thing they can make is fucking Starfield.
Bye, Sarah.
Alright, so enough hyping it up. What's the actual quest? Turns out, there's a fucking rat in the Brotherhood. Lucien knows it's not him, and it can't be me because I just joined.
It's not me, I swear.
So my task is to complete something called the Purification Ritual. And to do that, I need to go and kill every single member of the Cheydinhal Dark Brotherhood. Every single one of them. All of my friends. Dead. My Argonian friend, the vampire guy, this other cool orc, even the dick merchant. They all have to die. And although at this level, I could probably just go in there and wipe them all out with hand-to-hand combat, the guide had a better idea. The book showed me the location of a barrel of 10 poison apples nearby in Lucien's hideout. Then the guide directed me back to the Brotherhood hideout to pick up every single piece of food and drink inside, ensuring there was nothing left in the entire building. After that tedious process and the accidental ingestion of one of the poison apples causing me to restart the whole process...
I fucking ate a poison apple. Am I dead? That's cool.
I started dropping poison apples all throughout the Brotherhood and the dining rooms. Once I placed them all, I began to wait. The cool thing about Oblivion, that is very different to Skyrim, is that the NPCs have schedules and like daily tasks. At certain times, they'll go to their job. On certain dates, they'll travel to different towns within the world.
What the hell's going on over here? Fucking Jeebus.
And most importantly, come 7 PM, NPCs sit down to eat dinner, eating any food available near them or in their inventory. And sure enough, after waiting a couple days, most members of the Dark Brotherhood had consumed these poison apples and died.
Oh shit. He's dead. Oh, she's dead. Oh shit. Nope, there's another one. Nope.
For what was left,
you don't eat, do you?
I used the scroll given to me earlier that summons the ghost of my very first target back in that inn. And together, the ghost and I mopped up the remaining survivors.
No resurrections this time.
This mission was wild, and was by far the most interesting and unexpected thing I had ever played in a Bethesda game. R.I.P. Cheydinhal Brotherhood. You'll be missed. I feel fucking guilty, even now. Recording this right now, I feel horrible for what I did to you guys. Trying to follow that masterpiece was a tall order, but I was officially now working for the Black Hand, and considered high brass within the Brotherhood. Now, all of my targets would be very important, and also delivered to me via dead drop. These targets included a wizard that was instantly killed when I stole his hourglass, this poor woman and and like her entire family tree. The karate kid in training, this random bloke, this like traveling merchant that the game guide really insisted I paralyze with mead because he's like allergic or something.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
This random hunter on a mountain, and finally, this guy who can be caught lacking while he prays to this random statue in Breville. But did you guys start to notice a pattern between all of these targets? Because neither did I. But as I finished slaying my last target, Lucien came out of nowhere in a huff, explaining that I had gone rogue and been systematically killing members of the Black Hand.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, me and my boy Luce were being set up, but because these were Lucien's dead drops, he is ultimately to blame, and now the entire Brotherhood would be searching for him. So he sent me on one last quest to clear his name, and discover who was behind all of this, while he hid in a house I cleared earlier. I travelled to Anvil and waited for my next dead drop to see who actually turned up. After confronting this poor guy, I made my way to the Anvil Lighthouse, where after some further investigation...
Oh, what the fuck's going on? Damn, she's naked.
I discovered a shrine dedicated to someone's dead mother in the basement. What the fuck? In a weird turn of events, the guide actually offered no help at all, but asked that before I leave, I collect this guy's mother's decaying head that's just like vibing on the table. A clue we'll need for later, I'm sure. I travelled back to the house where Lucien was hiding. This was the place I visited when I was tasked with killing this poor woman's bloodline, but before I entered, I followed the book's advice, visiting this newly erected gravesite outside the family home. There, I was attacked by the ghost of the mother and collected their family heirloom weapon as compensation. Same deal as before, it's super cool and such a small detail that I definitely would have missed. I did stop fucking around long enough to enter inside, and found my boy Lucien hung up and skinned like a human piñata, surrounded by all of these hooded figures.
Oh my god. Oh, Lucien, Jesus Christ. Can I even fucking show this on YouTube? You guys are fucked up.
I spoke to the blokes inside, and they informed me that they are a part of the Black Hand as well, and that with Lucien's supposed betrayal and now punishment, I have been promoted into his position. So now, I'm finally one of the top dogs. All that was left was for me to visit our god, the Night Mother, who is the entity that all the Dark Brotherhood worship. But before all of that fun stuff, there's one last crucial tidbit the book laid out for me. We still don't know who set us up. However, we do know it had to be a member of the Black Hand. But according to the book, if we drop the mum's head we collected earlier on the floor in front of everyone, we can narrow down the list of suspects to one. So I dropped the head and spoke to everyone in the room. Again, everyone acted normal, except for this fucking guy.
What? What is that?
There you go, Tim.
Is that a head?
I can't do anything with this newly discovered information yet. But now I know going forward that this guy can't be trusted. And I seriously cannot get over how much of a cool detail this is. Did you guys know you could do this? Like, let me know. Is this common knowledge? Because this was fucking awesome. It's so small and stupid, but it's so cool.
It's your mom. Ooh.
We travelled to Breville as a team, and under the cover of darkness, we summoned around the statue my target was praying at earlier. Yeah, this statue is the Night Mother.
That statue came to life, motherfucker. What?
Here, we entered inside the Night Mother's crypt, giggity, and was face to face with the Night Mother's ghost herself. However, who could have guessed, but the sus Black Hand member we discovered from earlier attempts to betray us and kill us while we're in the crypt. An attempt he failed quite miserably at.
Fuck off, Bellamont.
I killed him, collected a shit ton of good loot within the crypt, and left with the Night Mother's blessing, and then became the new crowning leader of the Cyrodiil Dark Brotherhood assassins, with a new task of rebuilding the Brotherhood, because I slaughtered the old one, and to help organize hits across all of Tamriel, like a real-life soprano, just with less gabagool.
The arena.
The final faction of this game, if you could even call it that, was crafted specifically for me. One filled with gambling and indiscriminate murder. The arena is an optional activity that lets you wager on fights,
I like blue, it's my favorite color,
or compete in them until you reach the rank of Grand Champion.
No one can see what's happening, but you're fucked.
Unlike traditional factions, I had no idea this even existed until I entered the Imperial City for the first time, and was one of the few things in this game that was genuinely new to me. The arena isn't in Skyrim, and I'm pretty sure it's not in ESO, so I had high hopes going into this.
Go blue! Yeah, the blues!
As mentioned, there are two ways you can interact with the arena, either as a contestant, fighting random bosses in one-on-one combat, or as a gambler, betting on which contestant could come out on top, and making a little extra coin in the process.
Let's go gambling!
Aw, dang it.
And of course, I had the game guide right beside me, navigating me through every step of the way. While there was nothing groundbreaking in how it wanted me to play, I still had a lot of fun and found some cool interactions the book led me to that I definitely would have missed otherwise. For instance, like, did you guys know that these two people fighting outside the arena can actually give you skills just by watching them spar?
Hell yeah, that upped me by 5 points.
Another thing the book pointed out was how the luck stat played a role into how your wager matches turn out, with your percentage increasing per stack of 10 luck after 50. It even went into depth about how this lady in the arena had a special amulet that could increase your luck, and explained all the ways you could bribe, steal, or kill in order to take it. I'm like, serious, there's a large chunk of this book dedicated to helping you find ways to ruin this woman's life. But after all, the main point of the arena is signing up to become a contestant and fighting to the death. And by now, Pancke had become a bit of an expert when dealing in death. So please enjoy this lovely montage of Pancke's time in the arena. In the arena, I'm not doing the voice, there you go. Yep, those guys, they didn't stand a chance. Even when they straight up started cheating, I still folded them over.
Well, she's coming at me barefist, so I'm significantly less... Oh! Oh my god. Where's my fucking sword?
But after a few rank ups and some interesting opponent matchups, it was finally time for me to choose a fighting name and take on the arena champion. A fight which the book warned me would be difficult, unless I followed this simple quest. Before the big fight, I had a chat with the orc champion, who told me a tale about his childhood and how he never really knew his father, and wanted to try and find out some more information about his true origin. So after a hop, skip, and a whole dungeon crawl later, I discovered a letter explaining that his father had been a vampire this entire time, and while I was in the dungeon, I had to put him down. Yep, the current arena champion is half vampire. So I returned to him with the news, and to say he took it well would be as stupid as saying Diddy didn't do it. In exchange for my good deed, the champion did teach me some fighting moves, which did level up some skills, but it didn't matter. Pancke had broken this man's spirit.
I thought my father was a nobleman, not some blood-sucking monster.
The orc was so emotionally damaged, in fact, that when it came to the ground showdown between the champion of Cyrodiil and Pancke, he just fucking stood there begging me to kill him.
Fucking, aren't you gonna make it a fight?
The book didn't tell me this, okay? I gassed myself up for a fight. I even changed the difficulty, like way up, I put it on the hardest one, to make sure it was a fun and worthy battle. But this poor half-orc vampire was determined to somehow make me the asshole in a fight to the death.
I feel just bad.
But yeah, that was my time in the arena. It was short, it was sweet, and I even heard that the game originally planned to have an arena in every city and flesh out the whole thing a little bit more. And it's baffling to me that Skyrim never had anything like this at all.
Oh fuck, we're still doing these.
Guys, welcome back to Intermission 2, because I have a few thoughts on these quests that I've had to keep in until now. To me, factions in Oblivion are straight up better than its Skyrim counterpart in every other way other than spectacle. I know that's a big statement, so please just let me explain. In my last intermission, I explained after experiencing the campaign, I still felt like Skyrim was overall the better game. And I think that comes down to the fact that Skyrim has a lot more of those like video game moments. The whole game of Skyrim is just built up on these spectacles, whether it's doing something like fighting dragons in the main campaign or even some of the faction quests. I will never forget entering the Ragged Flagon for the first time, or becoming a nightingale and being paralyzed by the guild leader and left for dead, or being kidnapped in the middle of the night to an abandoned shack and forced to kill a hostage for the Dark Brotherhood. These are all moments that stick with players. I mean, that's why I'm talking about them now in this hour-long Oblivion video. But my point is, you can never shake the feeling of being the main character in all of these adventures. And like, don't get me wrong, the Oblivion factions work similarly, but I believe Oblivion quests do a much better job at making you feel like you're participating in a living world rather than a video game world revolving around you. The Fighters Guild is a good example of this, and although it was probably my least favorite faction I joined, it was a very grounded and straightforward story that just had a few highlights along the way. The Mages Guild was similar, in which we swapped mages that can freeze time and giant snowy castles for like a necromantic cult important to the greater lore, and world-traveling fetch quests. But this entire time, I felt like the storyline was more logical to follow, and there were cool revelations I had discovered more naturally through my gameplay, rather than discovering them through some forced cutscene or moment. The Thieves Guild, though, I feel like is the perfect portrayal of what I'm trying to explain. The quest starts simple, with multiple ways to complete them or even fail them. You rise through the ranks, learn learning more about what's going on with the guild, and through discovery and exploration, the game can reward you with more information and context to what you're actually doing, all culminating in this epic moment that has you do something fucking insane, and in doing so being rewarded a game-changing piece of equipment. Finally, the Dark Brotherhood was arguably the one that had the most to live up to, and yet felt the most grounded out of them all. But that's because of the way the book chose to achieve this through interacting within the game world. That's what made it interesting. Sneaking on board that ship by hiding in a crate is just so simple, but I love the fact that that's even an option to begin with such a stock standard contract quest. And I will not stop gushing over this, but being able to discover the person setting us up by dropping the head of their own mother in the room and gauging their reaction is such a small, useless detail, but it made me feel so immersed. Like, it's crazy that they even thought this far ahead to even do this. And I think that's my key takeaway from this whole game-guided experience. Immersion. And it shows there's impact and amazement in the simplicity. Ultimately, my time in these questlines have been a blast, and I can start to see why people hold Oblivion to such a high standard. But we still have more to go. Now it was finally time to explore, complete side quests, and find Deadric artifacts, and finally complete everything the base game has to offer.
You guys thought I couldn't pronounce names before.
The Deadric Quests were by far some of the most talked about and memorable moments in all of Skyrim.
A new hand touches the beacon.
And I was excited to see Oblivion's version. Like everything, the game guide had a set order it wanted me to do all 15 of these quests in, but it had some cool solutions and tidbits for most of these quests. We've already talked about Azura and Nocturne in depth, but I wanted to highlight some of the ones I found most memorable and interesting while following the book guide. I'm gonna fuck up every single one of these pronunciations. Olmec Leviticus. Fucking Jesus, this is gonna be a nightmare, holy shit. Old Mate Clavicus is on the list purely for two things. Barnabas, the dog from Skyrim.
Oh shit, it's fucking Barbas. That's cool.
Like, yes, I know the game came out before it, but okay, he's the dog from Skyrim to me. And Umbra.
You should leave this place.
The book tasked me with finding this Lord's Shrine that just happened to be out in the Cyrodiil wilderness. After paying 500 gold as tribute, I was sent to recover this weapon called Umbra. The book warned me that this would be the hardest fight in Oblivion, and I should proceed cautiously. Even the dog in my backpack warned me of the same thing.
So, just leave things be. Walk away. It's your best bet, really.
As I continued, I discovered that the lady from this nearby town discovered the Umbra weapon long ago, and was corrupted to the point of only being known as Umbra herself. After more sleuthing, I had found Umbra hidden in this Aelid ruin. Although normally I could just talk to her and initiate this one-on-one duel, I followed the book's commands.
This is what the book would like me to do. It would like me to use this weapon in particular, okay? Use my best scroll and then hit her as hard as I can. Don't even ask for a fight, just literally jump her.
To just start swinging at her before she even had a chance to react, giving me as much of an advantage as possible.
Get fucked, Umbra.
And yep, I made the Oblivion's Ebony Warrior my bitch, and now had the fun decision, do I keep this OP sword for myself and not finish the quest?
Umbra's a nice looking fucking sword, holy shit.
Or do I be a good Deadric lackey and return it like I was commanded to? But sadly, if I wanted to complete this secret Deadric quest that we'll get to later, I had to hand it over.
You're joking, right? This fucking sucks, I should get the sword.
Pancke is the Deadric Lord of Hunting, and the quest was as standard as quests come, with the Lord just wanting me to hunt an animal and return its pelt. But the reason I do remember this quest so vividly is because of what this sick game guide writer wanted me to do before completing the quest. This is the only time the writer of this fucking guide went unhinged. He went sicko mode, okay? The animal on the chopping block today was a unicorn. Yep, never seen one of those in an Elder Scrolls game before, and after this quest, I doubt you're ever going to see one again. Normally, right, you just sneak up next to it, hit it with an arrow or a dagger, and mission over. But according to the guide, I would need to go on a mini side tangent first. Once I was close enough to the beast, the book recommended that I use a calming spell. Once the horse chilled out a bit, you could actually go up next to it and ride it like a regular mount.
I have a fucking unicorn.
Same deal as before, a super cool feature, but not why it's on this list. The fucked up part I'd like to highlight is the book makes note that you should ride your new mount into the Imperial City and show it off, before ultimately killing it. So, Baggy mounted his new mystical steed, rode across the lands and into the docks of the Imperial City. He then went and flexed on some guards and peasants.
Look at that, you jealous? Yeah, look at him strut. Oh, look at these two fucking losers without a unicorn. What are you looking at?
Then slit the throat of this unicorn and dumped its lifeless corpse into the river. I wish I was joking. Just play the clip. Jesus Christ.
Without further ado, let's finish the quest. Poor fucking unicorn. Mr. Unicorn, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for letting me ride you. I'm sorry, this is kinda... The book didn't ask for this part specifically, but it did tell me to show you off and then kill you. So I took some artistic liberties on that one. This is fucked up even for me. Now, you know, the Imperial City docks is something to look at.
I'm going to hell for this. If there's a video game hell, I'm there, okay? Mind you, I got no bonus for doing this. There was no voice line or acknowledgement for even being on the unicorn.
Oh god, they really don't like you.
Some guy ultimately wrote this into the book so you would do it and just feel bad about what you've done. And they're right. I feel awful. There were some other fun highlights within these 15 quests that I thought were worth mentioning, if purely just because of the hidden details that can be missed if you're not following a game guide religiously like I am. For instance, Malakath had some unique voice lines for me being an orc, and wanted me to go free some slaved ogres. And when I did so, I could return to the farm where these ogres were kept and see the ogres pull an Uno reverse card and enslave their original captors.
Even the ogres are his masters.
Another was Molag Bol, who wanted me to make this pacifist violently kill me with this cursed mace, and all I had to do to achieve this was disrespect his dead wife's grave. The book also wanted me to add this fucked up bonus of making sure I returned to the guy that just killed me after my resurrection to torment him.
You're dead. I killed you myself. What manner of creature are you?
And of course, Shia Goraf's quest was hype if purely just because I got to visit the official Tamriel Museum of Cheese.
Holy shit. Look at all this cheese. That's the fucking cool cheese.
And also because at the end of the quest line, he made the sky rain cats and dogs.
Red lightning. Oh my god. What? What the fuck? Whoa, what the fuck?
This Deadric Lord was absolutely nuts, and he's by far probably the most interesting one I had done. I really hope we can learn more about him in some subsequent DLC that could significantly increase the amount of work and length I have to put into this video.
What you say?
But seriously, this museum of cheese, fucking hype. After finishing all other of the 14 Deadric quests, Baggy was approached in the middle of the night by a random stranger.
Glad you broke into my house to tell me that.
For all my Skyrim players out there watching this video, do you guys remember the weird spaghetti monster from the Dragonborn DLC? Well, he's in the game too, and he is the secret last Daedric shrine I needed to complete for the base game. The man that found me in the middle of the night was a servant of his, and he gave me the directions to Hermaeus' shrine, all the way up in the mountains on the edge of the explorable map. Once I finally reached the summit, I was given my final task: trap the souls of each of the 10 playable races across all of Cyrodiil. So it's pretty much become just open season on like orcs, Khajiits, Nords, etc.
What a sweet little birdie. You want some food? Want some... Ah, you fucking seagull bitch!
I could go and achieve this in pretty much any way I wanted, and I'm sure by naturally playing, I could eventually find and kill enough bandits to fill my quota. But the game guide writers had one more morally fucked up decision for me, and it recommended that I follow this choice if I wanted to get this done quickly. All I had to do was just not get caught. So gamers, want to know what each of these Daedric shrines have in common? They're all out in the middle of nowhere, and they're all surrounded by worshippers from all over the land. The book's swan song was for me to travel to all the other shrines I had just visited and start slaughtering every single worshipper until I had killed all 10 souls. Why? Because the game guide states that all of these characters from this point on are now useless. And because the shrine is so secluded, there will be no one able to help them or even hear them scream for that matter.
Really, guys? I mean, I didn't have to kill all of these, just so you know this.
This guy is fucked up. The guy that wrote this book has some problems, but Jesus Christ, he's effective. Thankfully, the guidebook also happened to give me a lovely order of shrines I could travel to be the most optimal. Starting with fucking this guy's, Shia Goraf's, and collecting my last few at Cleviticus's and Meridius shrines respectively. What should have been a long, arduous quest was done in like the grand total of 15 minutes. But once I returned, Tentacleface was overjoyed and rewarded me with the Ognium Infinity.
I just got the fucking Ognium Infinium, the thing from Skyrim. I know that book, and it gives you the levels, right?
A book that, just like in Skyrim, could be used to level up my stats in either combat, stealth, or magic. I read the Infinium. I buffed all of my magic skills, but with the artifact now read and completed, So was my time with the Daedric Lords. Baggy's final chapter within the base game was about to commence, and we were finally towards the end of the game guide. All that was left was Oblivion's numerous side quests, and if I could finish those, I would have completed Oblivion as Bethesda truly intended.
We see that develop as the series goes on. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get onto the Rift for game number 1.
Oh, one's down for the Nords. Holy fucking shit, there's 2 down for the Nords. The Dark Elves, fuck this guy up from 5 to 1. 5 to 1. Holy shit, he's still staying strong. This guy's bold. He could do it. He could still do it. He's getting stabbed. He's getting stabbed. Oh, it's a double team. It's a triple team, and he's dead.
Defeat.
Holy shit, man. This is so crazy.
The time I had been waiting for had finally arrived. At this point in the book, I am free to go explore and tackle whatever I'd like.
Oh, I could gaslight the fuck out of him.
No more orders in what I can and can't do, just pure freedom. And that felt terrifying. I won't go through every side quest in this game, but the book did break them all down into these sort of categories: Master Trainer, Miscellaneous, Free Roam, and even Settlement quests. And I wanted to share with you guys some of my favorites from each category. So, starting off strong with the miscellaneous quests. If you guys can recall, earlier in the Mages Guild questline within the recommendation quest of Breville, I had an issue, and it forced me to play through the miscellaneous quest through a nightmare darkly. This quest went hard, and had me infiltrate this mage's dreams and try and wake him up from his eternal slumber, Inception style.
Okay, I have no magic, and I'm naked. Cool.
Here I solved traps, floor puzzles, and even fought minotaurs in this arena, all to wake this mage up.
Alright, what the hell is this place? Fuck you, Minotaur.
A really unexpected side quest that had seriously set the stage for what I was expecting going forward.
Come on, get up, bitch.
The first proper side quest I started with my newfound freedom was called A Brush with Death. This quest had me go inside a painting.
Painting to the painted world, okay.
And use turpentine and swords to defeat painted trolls, to free this artist that was trapped within.
What the fuck? This is sick.
The quest was just top tier, and it even had these painted visuals to match. Like seriously, Bethesda, this is goated, on God.
Look at that. That's fucking awesome. Painted baggy.
After that, I hit another banger with the playthrough of the quest, An Unexpected Voyage. The book told me that to start this quest, I should rent a room on a pirate ship inn within the Imperial City docks.
The bloated float. How have I never been here?
Which, just side note, that's fucking cool.
This is so cool. The aesthetic. I'm just a slut for inns.
Once I got to my room and fell asleep, I awoke to find that the ship had been taken over by actual pirates and sent off to sea. Here, the guide coached me on all the correct dialogue options I could make, which culminated in me being able to convince the captain to surrender peacefully. Only just after I had slaughtered her entire crew. It turns out the pirates stole this ship because they were looking for the treasure of the Golden Galleon, but that was merely a rumor that the inn owner made up to just create more business. Just such a fun and unique adventure. From there, I went on to complete the Paranoia quest, where the book just wanted me to gaslight this schizophrenic guy into committing murders so I could earn the most amount of gold possible.
He's outright going to kill her. He's fucking chasing her down. Oh, there comes the guards. Oh my god.
I followed it up by discovering a murderer who was using the guise of a vampire hunter to steal some treasure in a quest called A Brotherhood Betrayed. The last miscellaneous quest I did do for the base game was for an Aragonian woman in Coral, titled Shadow over Hackdirt. And I'm serious, this quest was absolutely fire. I really hope Bethesda promoted whoever the hell thought of this quest, because it's just too good.
Where is everyone?
The premise is that this Aragonian shopkeeper's daughter was meant to ride to a town called Hackdirt on her beloved horse, and just drop off some supplies that had been ordered. The issue was, she left days ago and she hasn't been heard from since, so I was tasked with going out there to investigate. The first thing I did notice when I entered this town was that the vibe was just way off.
Trapdoor, huh? What the hell?
Some buildings were destroyed, it was in the middle of this dense forest, and there was no one around. I eventually spoke to the one person I found wandering around, and they were little to no help whatsoever, even asking me to just straight up give up the search and leave. I went into the adjacent store and asked the clerk about the girl, and was told she never actually turned up with the supplies they ordered.
He never showed up. How am I supposed to run a shop without any merchandise?
Super weird so far, but what was worse was after that encounter, I found the girl's prized horse Blossom just chilling in this abandoned house next to the shop. Upon confronting the shopkeeper again, I was told that they owned the horse for years and they weren't going to say anything else.
Dude, everyone just gaslights everyone.
This place was getting weird. I mean, they definitely did something to this girl, but why? Why even try to hide it? Where could she be? I seriously wasn't mentally prepared for where this side quest would take me, and the answers I would soon get to these questions. I approached the inn and asked the same questions, and was met with the same answers. Things changed though when I started exploring and found some of her belongings in a destroyed room upstairs.
Oh shit.
This lady had stayed the night. She was definitely here, and something 100% happened, and it looked like the whole town was in on it. To try and further my investigation, I decided to enter this creepy looking chapel because, I mean, fucking look at it. I hate being right, because lying out on the altar of this chapel was a book dedicated to the old gods and filled with all of this Cthulhu-inspired symbols and apocrypha. This whole town is a fucking Cthulhu cult.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. My name is Trixie and I'm calling you from...
Sorry, I can't talk right now. I just found out that this missing girl I've been looking for has been abducted by these like Cthulhu cultists and hacked it. Yeah, sorry about that. Bro, I'm actually going to hell.
Once I exited the chapel, another townfolk approached me, telling me that he had information on the missing girl. I followed him to his house, and he told me that she is being kept prisoner in a dungeon below the city, and will be used as a sacrifice to please the old gods. Seriously, Bethesda, what the fuck? With no time to lose, I snuck into the cave network. I found the lost girl imprisoned in a cage below. I picked her lock to the sounds of what only could be described as some eldritch horror's angered roar.
Right. Oh, I so want to come back down here and figure out what the fuck's going on.
Once above ground, I fought off some cultish resistance and escorted the girl back to her horse. In a final act, I went back down into the cave and ensured that none of this would ever happen to anyone again. Now, having successfully eliminated the entirety of Hackdirt's population, I walked the girl back to Coral and completed one of the coolest side quests I had ever done. Outside of these miscellaneous quests I've talked about, I did do some Master Trainer quests. These are cool additions that weren't in Skyrim, but they were mostly useless to me by this point. Some were fun, like finding this athletics trainer on top of this big fuck-off mountain, or collecting random silverware for a gift so I could be trained in heavy armor. But overall, not too impactful. Throughout my time playing, I did complete some free roam quests, such as the Potato Snatcher.
Give me the potatoes, you son of a bitch. She needs to make potato bread, you fuck.
Bear Season was another similar type of quest I completed, if only because of how fucking cute this little guy is in the book. I mean, look at this guy, look at this little bear, like, look at him, he's fucking awesome. The whole reason this bit's in the fucking video right now is because I wanted to show you this picture. He's just like a little guy. He's vibing. Look at him. I fucking killed him though.
Honk.
And then wrapping up all of these free roam quests by stopping and then attempting to restart a Goblin Civil War in the Goblin Trouble quest. In the end, I decided to finish this journey with a settlement quest that I had heard about all over Reddit and had seen some signs of very early in my playthrough.
What the fuck? You a texture glitch? No, you're just an invisible wolf.
This quest had me attempt to release the town from a spell that made all of its occupants and surrounding wildlife invisible. Turns out, this cheeky mage down the road accidentally did that while trying to make himself permanently invisible, and provided me with a scroll to help reverse it. The book then asked that I persuade the man a little more and get given an amulet to wear for when I cast the spell, because this shithead is so bad at his job that even the scroll meant to reverse the spell would give me a permanent stat decrease without some sort of magical protection. But with that, here lies the end of the base game, and the original game guide that I had purchased. All major quest lines and stories have been completed, as written in this book. Of course, there's still things for me to see, dungeons to explore, spells to make, skills to level, and even a whole section of vampirism to dabble in. But the main crux of the book was now complete. But our journey in this remaster isn't over yet, and it was time to throw away the old book guide and get the official Elder Scrolls Oblivion Game of the Year Edition guide out, because we still had 2 whole expansions, side quests, and some mini DLCs to complete that I had no idea existed when I started to create this video.
This might be the greatest thing of all time.
Picking up from where I left off in the new book, Baggy was sent out on one last grand adventure, towards Nibian Bay, where a mysterious doorway has opened up in the middle of an island, calling to anyone brave enough or foolish enough to enter.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Where do I even begin with the epic adventure that is the Shivering Isles? I truly feel like this DLC is the culmination of everything that makes Oblivion great, and it is unapologetic in the way it presents itself to the player, in both its storytelling and its gameplay.
Oh my god.
If you have made it this far, the book guide is pretty confident that you know how to play Oblivion, and you can handle yourself in most situations.
Bro, just mad dogging me. You gonna have a staring contest? Is that it?
To compensate for this less detail, I found that the guide was stacked to the brim with hidden knowledge, secret quests and interactions, and further insights into what you can find and do, all within this new area. Following a lead we heard about really early in the game, Pancke made his way towards Nibian Bay, and skipped across the waterfront until we found this weird-looking island. As we ascended the island, we were halted by a guard, and watched as these people that had been driven mad poured out of the portal. The guard informed me that this random doorway had opened up seemingly overnight, and that he was there to try and stop anyone from entering, because, as you can see, anyone who enters comes back out, considerably worse for wear.
You can't make me go back. I'll kill you all.
This is fucking crazy.
As this was all happening, a familiar voice boomed through the portal.
Bring me a champion. Rend the flesh of my foes.
It was Sheogorath, the Deadric Prince of Madness that I had dealt with earlier in the game. He was now inviting me to enter his realm, as he was in desperate need of a champion. As Baggy and I stepped up into this portal, so began this crazy tale of mania, madness, betrayal, and eventually, godhood.
Alright, Baggy. This is it.
I entered the portal, expecting something similar to an Oblivion gate, so you can imagine my surprise when inside I was instead face to face with some random Jack Skeleton looking guy, a metronome, and an office. A man named Haskell offered for me to take a seat and explained the situation. He warned me that this is indeed the realm of Sheogorath, and that anyone entering this realm has a very good chance of leaving it insane or dead if they were lucky. After agreeing to continue, the room exploded and dissolved into butterflies all around me.
Uh-oh. Whoa, what the fuck? Holy shit.
Abandoning me in this weirdly coloured mushroom forest known as the Shivering Isles. I followed the trail in front of me.
Hello, what the fuck are you?
Killed some weird fish people I had never seen before, and walked into the middle of this small town. It was here where I was introduced to Sheldon and his friend, who asked me to follow them so they could watch the Gatekeeper. You see, we are technically in the Shivering Isles, but to get out of this area known as the Fringe, we would need to get past this huge fleshy monstrosity, and I just had the pleasure of watching it wreck this entire group of adventurers trying to get past.
God, that guy is fucking them up.
If I wanted to continue my quest and meet Sheogorath in person, I had to figure out a way to kill this thing. After consulting the book, I discovered that there are 2 mini quests I could do that would make this fight a lot easier. Although realistically, I probably could just walk over there and deck the dog, I was curious to see what the devs intended for their players to do here. The book first wanted me to talk to a hunter named Jared and help him complete his plan. Jared learned that the bones of a former gatekeeper could do damage to the creature, and if I wanted to get past this monster and enter the realm proper, I was going to need his help and these bones to do it. After this quick adventure into some nearby locked garden, I obtained the bones Jared needed.
He's deposing!
While Jared worked on making these arrows, I read the next objective the book wanted me to complete. The game guide told me that if I could obtain the tears of Big Chungus's mother, I could coat my weapons in it and do significantly more damage. After speaking to some townfolks, I learnt that every night at 12 AM, this mad scientist lady would go visit her golem and weep for her creation. After some light stalking and surveillance, I noticed that she was walking over to the gatekeeper and started to cry. She then subsequently dropped a handkerchief with her tears, and I casually picked it up.
Alright, what if I just grab that?
I met back up with Jared, and we ascended up the hill to face the gatekeeper together, who now, between the arrows and the tears, would be taking significantly more damage.
Oh, he's knocked me down.
It was a quick battle, but the gatekeeper was destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Haskell reappeared, congratulating me on my victory and urging me to make my way towards New Sheorath. Slowly but surely, I fought my way through this new land, taking in all the views, but mostly fighting all the new enemies I could find along the way.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? This thing's terrifying. What is this? I'm telling you, that is live action Scooby-Doo. That's his face.
Making sure I discovered some nearby locations that the book promised I would need to fast travel to for later.
Okay, I think I made it. Ooh, pretty waterfall. Crucible.
I arrived within this district called the Crucible and entered one of the coolest towns I had yet to experience.
I really like it. This is cool. Whoa.
I'm serious, this town is peak art design. To me, it felt like this love child between Sanctuary from Borderlands 2 and the Undercity from World of Warcraft, all tied together with this cool symmetry artwork between like mania and dementia, saints and sinners, good versus evil. Like seriously, this place was fucking awesome. Progressing further, I entered this cool palace and finally met face to face with the Mad God himself. After some interesting and entertaining dialogue,
I'm so happy I could just tear out your intestines and strangle you with them.
I was given a rundown on what was going on. Long story short, Shia needs a champion to help him with something very important. And if I could prove myself just this little bit more, maybe Baggy could be just what he needs. But before I overstayed my welcome, I made my way outside the city and towards my next objective. There was this temple in the Isles that was created to help lure adventurers who enter the realm to their doom, to help Shia weed out the weak. The problem was, however, the temple was not working, and was now just letting all these crappy wannabe adventurers into the Isles. Upon further inspection inside, I discovered that these crystals scattered throughout the temple had become destroyed by these fish people, and turned into magical weaponry. By going around and massacring all the fishmen, I was able to repair the crystals and return the temple back to all of its former TPK and glory. Turns out though, the temple had deemed it that I can't leave until I personally have dealt with the newest batch of adventurers, unlucky enough to wander into this sanctum. And to do so, I would need to activate traps to either kill the party or drive them insane.
I'd fall for that, I'll be honest. I'd be going for every single one.
A really cool quest solution that I hadn't seen done before in this game.
By the gods, when will it stop? It could devour us all. For your lives.
For my time in this temple, I was rewarded with this super powerful sword. But at the same time, I was completely ambushed by these terrifying knights known as the Knights of Order.
Oh, what the hell? Knights of the Order? Whoa, 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 chill. It's a goddamn ambush.
You must proceed to Sheogorath at once and tell him the knights have returned. Quickly now, go!
Upon my return to the palace, I asked Shia what the fuck is going on, and I was given a little bit more context to everything that's happening.
I have several questions.
Every end of an era, the Shivering Isles is invaded by a hostile Deadric lord, known as Jigalag.
The Deadric Prince of Order. Or biscuits. No order.
Jigalag brings forth something known as the Grey March, which pretty much brings order and discipline to the Shivering Isles. And for a man that's known as the King of Madness, well, we can't have that. What started out as just an average Tuesday night for Baggy was slowly evolving into this Daedric realm apocalyptic Avengers level threat that once again, only Baggy could solve. If Baggy was going to save this new world, then Shia found it important for him to understand it. So, he sent me on 2 quests, to meet the Duke of Mania and the Duchess of Dementia, and help them in whatever way I can. At the book's recommendation, I started with the Duke, who had a very easy quest for me. Return his chalice that had been stolen and hidden within this random dungeon. However, to even get into the location where the chalice was being held, Baggy would need to start taking hard drugs. The mechanic for this dungeon was actually pretty cool. After taking the drug Feldu, Baggy was able to enter through the doors of this dungeon.
Whoa, in the sphincter.
And also received this nice stat buff.
Everything's looking awesome right now.
This fun party drug did come with some side effects, such as crippling addiction and an enormous stat debuff.
Jesus.
Something that could only be avoided if I took more fantasy drugs. I had to run around the dungeon, locate more Feldu, and find wherever this chalice was being held, all while battling enemies, trying not to get lost, and balancing my new drug habit.
Man, Demi Lovato makes this look easy.
I also had the fun book task of checking every tree stump and amber stump I came across. As I was looking for an item with a 2% drop chance, I also had to make sure I collected 2 important books I could find at the end of this dungeon, that could shed some more light on what I'll be facing within this realm. Eventually, I made it to the chamber where this chalice was being held, and I cleared it from all the junkies that were protecting it.
Guys, you're fucking gonna fist fight me? This is the plan? Oh, what the fuck? Pricks?
I fast traveled back to the palace and returned my prize, and continued to my next quest giver. Not really thinking that I could top that last quest,
Feldu addict, come here. Come on, you fucking addict. You want to fucking throw hands?
the Duchess of Dementia reminded me yet again that after 50 hours of this game, I still know nothing. Because this mission was a whole other type of weird, and the book was just as happy to make me go along with it. The Duchess is paranoid. She believes that there are people in her court plotting for her death, and it was my job to find whoever it was and bring them to her. I went down to the torture room and recruited her head torturer,
Is that kink for you? What's going on?
who then followed me around the city and started torturing anyone at random that I accused.
Oh, he's coming. It is coming, bro, and then you're fucked. So one orc to another, you should get out of here right now.
Hello.
Look, he's coming. He's walking menacingly. He's got the jorts on. Oh.
But Baggy wasn't going to let this mad world get to him, so I like to think that we handled this newfound power actually pretty well.
Torch this motherfucker. Torture him again.
We did some more indiscriminate torture, and we uncovered a lead on someone who actually looked like they wanted to harm the Duchess. After even more torturing,
Where are the rebel bases?
we hit a dead end with this Khajiit, who refused to admit anything unless we came to him with proof of his involvement within this murder plot, which surprisingly didn't take long at all, because upon stalking this suspect for some time, we overheard him plotting with one of the seducer guards about a plan to kill the Duchess. After some more confronting and torturing, Baggy finally uncovered the head of the snake. He tattled on this lady immediately and got her sentenced to death in this grisly fashion.
Oh shit. Oh god. Jesus.
Also, he could finish this quest and steal this important book off her corpse at the game guide's request. With these two missions complete, the Deadric God was now pleased with my actions, but I still had more to do if I was going to stop the Grey March, and even Jiggalag.
You'll be my champion. You'll grow powerful. You'll grow to be me. Prince of Madness, a new Sheogorath.
If everything goes to plan, I am going to take Sheogorath's place within the Isles, and within the pantheon of the gods, and become the new Prince of Madness. Yeah, I'm gonna let that revelation sink in a bit. In other Bethesda games, I understand that you're the hero of the story. But in this game, outside of a few exceptions, your character is ultimately just the hero of Kvatch. You're not the Emperor, you're not the Dragonborn, and you're certainly not a god, despite what the gameplay may say otherwise, making this moment feel really huge, and a plot twist I didn't see coming. Is my character from Oblivion actually the Deadric God in Skyrim? I'm not sure, but I'm keen to see this all through.
Well, except for that Martin fella. But he turned into a dragon god.
The flame of Agon had been extinguished, and Sheogorath would like me to travel to his temple within the Isles and collect a new one. Both city factions, the Saints and the Seducers, are fighting over who should be in control of the temple, and I was to go in there and choose a winning side, contributing to one of the most comprehensive quest guides I had seen in the book thus far. There are 4 official ways of completing this quest, with many different intricacies and changes that can happen. The idea is that you need to either side with the Saints or the Seducers, or side with one team and double-cross the other, or double-cross the double-cross. Ultimately, this all did seem like a lot of work, and being as strong as I am now, I just decided on using my raw strength to achieve my goal.
Yeah, fuck it.
Siding with the Seducers, I helped them defend the temple from the Saint onslaught almost single-handedly, and after an annoying game crash...
Oh, come on, game, really? Thanks. Fucking thank you.
I was on my way back to the main city to light the flames of Agon once more.
Light it up, baby! Oh shit, is she gonna become the light? Oh god. Yep. Answers that question.
But I did have a decision to make. What side of the Isles should get the flame? Mania or Dementia? The Duke or the Duchess? The Saints or the Seducers? The book warned me that this would be the beginning of some big choices I would have to make throughout this DLC, and it would affect the storyline of the game moving forward. I ended up choosing Mania when Sheogorath met me next to the flame, to inevitably drop some lore heat of his own. If I was going to take his throne, however, I was going to need the respect of the people, and would need to perform the ritual of ascension.
To become the ruler of Dementia, the current leader's heart must be cut out and brought to the altar of Arden Sul.
Yep, I now had the fun choice of deciding who I liked more, the crackhead or the delusional lady, and assassinate my respective choice. The book didn't have a preference in which one I chose, but it did inform me that regardless of what I did choose, I would be missing out on a mission that could only be replayed in another playthrough.
Once you've decided which Duke to replace, there's no turning back.
Yeah, seeing that the Duke pretty much got me addicted to that one time, I decided I'd rather see him die than the Duchess, and so began my mission to assassinate and become the Duke of Mania. The idea was quite smart. I was to powder the Duke's food with a potent drug that would cause his heart to explode. Then I would just carve it out and carry on with my day. So, following the guide's advice, I spoke to the Duke's servant, who after a bit of persuading, told me the Duke's day-to-day routine, including that he goes to eat at 8 PM every day. But the servant was still holding out information, and wouldn't tell me where the Duke kept his stash. After some more light stalking of some more vulnerable and secluded women, I discovered a secret passageway beneath the castle, and found a literal mountain of powdered drugs hidden under the city. But without a boogie board nearby to actually store my drugs in, I settled for just stuffing my pockets with as much as I could carry, and initiated part 2 of my master plan. I now had to use my sneaking abilities to infiltrate the kitchen and poison the Duke's food.
Good. We're fine.
But with the cowl of the Grey Fox, my sneak skill, and the ring of the Khajiit I got from a Daedric god earlier, it was a pretty simple affair.
That was fucking close.
I returned at 8 PM, and I sat down and watched as this junky would-be Duke took a bite of his food and dropped dead on the floor.
Eyes as blue as a cerulean sea. What? My heart. Can't breathe. Help me.
I collected his heart, not giving a fuck who saw me at this point, and returned to the chapel to perform my ascension. But of course, as I was being crowned my new title, the plot twist had to happen.
The ritual must not be completed.
Oh shit.
The Duchess of Dementia stormed into my coronation and explained that she knew what we had done to the Duke, and that she has now pledged loyalty to Jiggalag and the rise of order within the Isles.
I give myself to Jiggalag. As a priest of order,
oh shit.
That's bad. But still will be a problem for later, as the fringe we started in was now under attack by Jiggalag's forces, and without a gatekeeper or some champion's interference, the fringe would surely be lost. Upon my arrival back to the fringe, 2 things were made immediately apparent. These Knights of Order aren't fucking around, and these saints defending the fringe are probably screwed.
May the blessings of our Lord protect us all.
Oh, we're so fucked.
Even the writers of the book agreed, because throughout the next wave of fights, the book made efforts to ensure I used my healing spells on the team. Yeah, but sadly the Archmage of Cyrodiil still doesn't actually have any healing spells that could help.
There's nothing I can give these people that will help in any capacity.
So, they're on their own. After defeating the onslaught, I spoke to the Saints leader of the army, and she informed me that a nearby ruin is housing the priests of order, and that I would need to infiltrate it and wipe them all out to stop this invasion on the fringe. Again, once I was inside, I was met with the usual dungeon procedures you're all probably used to by now.
Uh-oh.
However, just as I reached the end of the ruin, I met up with a familiar face.
Sheldon? The fuck, bro? What are you doing here?
My boy Sheldon from the start of the DLC, he's alive, and he's been taking shelter in this ruin since the attacks started. The book asked me to bring him along, and we cleared what was left of the ruin when disaster struck.
Let's get out of here, Sheldon. Let's go.
This whole place was collapsing like an Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, whoa.
And we had to rush to an exit. I managed to escape because I'm the main fucking character, but I got separated from Sheldon.
Shit, Sheldon.
But all ended up being okay in the end because Sheldon's a physicist, and collapsing rubble doesn't mean shit to this man. Bazinga! I returned to Sheogorath to deliver the news. But like I mentioned earlier, without a gatekeeper, the Knights of Order would surely retake the fringe. So now, I must rebuild the flesh golem I spent so long trying to destroy. We are now finally getting to the end of this DLC, and in my time playing, I found myself enjoying Oblivion in a completely different way than I had before. And this next quest only sort of strengthened that feeling. All I had to do for this next quest was find the Gatekeeper's creator in her secret lair, get the parts needed from a dungeon run, and reassemble the beast. But like in some of my other favorite quest chains, there are heaps of missable details that I probably would have just ignored had I still not been consulting the guide. For instance, this ruin you enter is more of a laboratory, and you can find a series of lab monstrosities, failed test subjects, and prison cells holding more victims. There are a plethora of notes the book leads me to that describe some of these experiments that went on in this place, and even an optional side quest, if you could call it that, to try and spare the remaining living subjects, in exchange for your own life. These features are ultimately meaningless, but it adds so much more discoverability and context to this place, and makes it feel so much more than just another dungeon. But back on track, I spoke to the creator, saved the prisoners, and I made my way into another tree stump dungeon, and collected all the parts necessary to recreate the Gatekeeper. I was able to choose what parts of the Gatekeeper were made of, not only buffing the creature's stats to my choosing, but giving me a corresponding special spell buff for my character every time I interacted with the beast in the future. We approached this portal and started the ritual to create this creature. After dropping in all the body parts and the ritual items we collected earlier, it was time for the Gatekeeper to live once more.
Holy shit. Oh. Oh, he looks sick.
With the book giving me one final task before finishing the mission. Watch the carnage.
Go, Gatekeeper. This is very anticlimactic.
I returned to Sheogorath to deliver the news, who finally had one last big lore drop for me that would change everything. This one seriously took me off guard, because I wasn't really paying attention at this point, and then he just casually drops this bombshell.
Because he is me.
Wait, what?
I'm him. We're a bit of each other, really. I won't be here when he arrives because I'll be him. Happens every time. The Grey March starts, order appears, and I become Jiggalag and wipe out my whole realm.
What the fuck?
Sheogorath is Jiggalag. Sheo turns into another Daedric god at the end of every era to bring order into his own realm and reset everything anew, just like he has done successfully for millennia.
I can already feel the change beginning. I feel like I'm not quite here.
After fast traveling to my location, I discovered that Syl, no, not that one, the Duchess of Dementia, had indeed gone through on her word and betrayed Sheogorath, helping Jiggalag's Knights of Order decimate the Seducer resistance. Inside was another dungeon crawl, but this time with a unique ring the bell puzzle that cleared debris of crystals and allowed me to progress deeper into the cave.
Nice.
We made progress quickly, but not quick enough to stop the Knights of Order accessing some important well in the cave, and turning my small Seducer army all into statues.
Oh. Oh my god.
I killed the knights, saved the day, and reported back to the big boss. But now, with the Grey March soon approaching, his transformation could not be stopped. In a classic buggy Bethesda fashion, Sheogorath vanished in front of me. And all that was left of him was his staff and his servant Haskell.
Oh, he's just gone now.
If I am still to have any chance at stopping Jiggalag and taking over as Sheogorath, I would need to get his staff working again. And fortunately, Haskell was just the man who could help. Baggy cannot be Sheogorath without having Sheogorath's staff. And currently the staff that was left is just this fucked up piece of wood. So, Haskell the goat informed me of a new location in which I could create a staff worthy of the mad god himself. But of course, there would be some roadblocks along the way.
All this because I took a wrong fucking turn.
I made my way to this temple, killed all of the riffraff, and spoke to the man inside. This dude could in fact build me a new staff if I collected for him the eye of some lady in the Isles and some magic bullshit from this other dungeon in a tree. I ran across the Isles and made it to where my target and her eye were located. Although the book did give me two options going forward, I decided on using the more baggy approach, where I just entered the temple and slaughtered my way to victory.
You will be but a footnote in the video.
With the eye now collected, I eventually arrived at my next dungeon, and this is where I found the highlight of the entire DLC for me, and it was just as simple as killing, but not in the way you're thinking.
Oh. Oh my god, it's Baggy. I'm fighting me.
The tree I was in conjured a special version of Baggy, with better stats, gear, magic skills, and a kick-ass two-handed sword, and now I was quickly plunged in a fight to the death.
Oh, fuck. Baggy, please. I'm you. Leave me be. I can't even do half this magic shit. This is bullshit.
I can safely say that this was finally the hardest boss I had the pleasure of fighting. It was tough, fair, and most importantly, fun.
This is the hardest fight in the game, hands down, because it's me.
It's just a shame that with this level scaling, it took me 60 hours of in-game time to actually get here, but I'm glad nonetheless. I used Conjuration during the fight, just as the book commanded, to help me kill evil Baggy.
My turn, motherfucker. I'm sorry, Baggy.
Upon his death, I was rewarded with this amazing two-handed sword.
Shadow Rend?
That had me one-shotting enemies just left and right. But most importantly, I was given the last magical item I needed to help create the Staff of Sheogorath. With these pieces collected, the staff was completed, but not empowered. To do that, I would need to use the Font of Madness back in Sheogorath's palace.
You may have noticed that we have a bit of a problem.
But wouldn't you know it, Jiggalag and his knights have completely encased the well with these crystals, blocking me from fixing the staff. So I guess that's just like DLC over. Alright, the end. Roll credits.
That's it?
But in all seriousness, for this penultimate mission to the DLC, all I had to do was go inside Sheogorath's weird pleasure tree and kill all the knights.
Come here.
The new mechanic this time was that the pathways of the dungeon were completely blocked, unless these little Groot-looking guys would walk over there and clear the way. So I could explore the area and release more tree guys to speed things up.
Oh, there you go. This shits out one that will move me to where I need to go.
Or follow and protect the existing tree guys until they eventually pathed in the direction I needed to go.
Open that fucking tree for me.
Mostly using patience and lots of violence.
Forgotten.
I finally made my way deeper into the root of this corruption. During my time in this tree, I also found a special Sheogorath-shaped amber.
There we go, Sheogorath-shaped amber. Let's go.
That the game guide told me earlier was super rare and would be needed for a future side quest. So I pocketed that as well and carried on. It was towards the end, next to this well, where I found Syl, the Duchess, waiting for me. After her incredibly long exposition about how she's not the bad guy, I just killed her and stole her weapon and then escaped. Now finally being able to empower the staff, I would be able to fight Jiggalag one-on-one, which is good news because Jiggalag and his Knights of Order have now started their Grey March and are assaulting the palace just as I exited the dungeon.
I expect that this is the beginning of the final assault.
Guys, this is it. Although I had some smaller DLCs to finish, this quest pretty much marks the end of Baggy's main storyline. If I could defeat Jiggalag, using my new staff no less, I would be able to stomp out the Grey March and effectively finish the game and this video. But in the end, I found myself forgetting one crucial thing. Oblivion is a Bethesda game, and up until this point, I hadn't really complained about classic Bethesda problems in this video. So you can imagine my surprise when on the day I went to finish the game, I was met with a 15GB update, the first major one I had seen since I started this remaster. So you can also imagine my reaction when during the final mission, where Jiggalag spawns for the final fight, the game crashes.
That's fucking Jiggalag. Oh my god. And the game crashed. What a cool moment. A cool gaming moment I will cherish forever.
And crashes!
Apparently this will stun him. Will crash my game again.
And fucking crashes. So now you can hopefully understand my anger when I tell you after checking Reddit and Steam, I discovered that this new update that came out today of all days has completely broken this fucking mission and softlocked me into a state where I can't continue the game at all. Yeah, all because I spent one extra day just writing this fucking script rather than finishing the fucking game. So yeah, I'm a little mad. I'm a little peeved. I'm a little bit angry. So at the time of writing this and even recording this issue hasn't been addressed, and I'm unsure of how long it will stay like that. If it does get fixed before I finish this video, I'll add a cameo from Future Pancake and he can talk about the ending of the whole fucking game, okay? Hi, Future Pancake, hope you're well.
So yeah, I don't know if you can tell by the sound of my voice, but you're listening to a man that's lost everything editing this. But anyway, here's the Future Pancake section. After, I kid you not, like 4 months, I came back and finally decided to try again and finish this game once and for all. I went back outside, and just like the last time the palace was under attack, I used my new staff to freeze the approaching forces, just like the book wanted. Right. Freeze. Okay, that's cool. And filled the 2 nearby pillars with the Hearts of Order. Before too long, Jiggalag finally appeared, and it was time for our final showdown. Oh, they're all gone. Oh, this is it. Don't crash. Holy shit. Using the staff, although it didn't really do much, and just pure brawn, I managed to take Jiggalag out. You are the only thing in my way stopping me from beating Oblivion as Bethesda intended. Fuck you, Jiggalag. Fuck you! Woo! Stopping the Grey March, and now officially taking Sheogorath's place within the pantheon of the gods, and as the new ruler of the Shivering Isles. Hell yeah. After some more cool lore revelations, I returned to my throne and I spoke to Haskell one last time. He I was rewarded some interesting spells. I also received a new Sheogorath outfit, and most importantly, I received a private dancer who I could summon for my own entertainment within my court at any time. Sort of like GTA. What the fuck? But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's cut back to happier Pancake, who didn't realize his next 4 months were gonna look like this hell. Enjoy.
If not, then fuck this dog shit, fuck your ending, and fuck your DLC. Fuck you.
I am still so angry. You have no idea.
Look. I forgot about the side quests to this DLC, which are all sort of relevant and worth bringing up in this video, so it's a tentative fuck you for now, okay? I didn't go too hard into these side quests, but I did try some of these long form ones that the book did highlight earlier that were different from just the regular game. Throughout my time in the Isles, I have been picking up these resources. I've been picking up Madness Ore, Amber, and these weapon and armor molds. These items are for a continuous crafting side quest that lets you make more powerful gear in exchange for those items. I had already found a couple in my playthrough, and the game guide showed me all the places in the game where I could find the rest. Visiting this specific blacksmith in the Crucible side of the city let me craft some heavy armor and magical weapons with the Madness Ore.
Why does that look fucking awesome?
And visiting the blacksmith in the Bliss let me use Amber to craft light armor and even more weapons. I then visited the Museum of Oddities and spoke to the lady inside. This was another style of long-form side quest where I could hand over weird items I found in the Isles in exchange for gold. I was already lucky enough to find the hardest item in the game, and I also found this tomato that was imbued with a greater soul. I donated these items to the museum and I was rewarded with some gold in return, and then I could look around and see all of the things on display. It's actually kind of cool. For my final side quest I decided to dabble in, I helped a man in the Isles that really wanted to die. He was just done with the realm, and he wanted to finally be at peace. The trick was that he didn't want to see it coming, which genuinely was kind of a shame, because pretty much at this point I was still angry, so I just killed him straight up, went to his house, and raided it for loot that I was promised.
Stop! Take me unaware, not like this!
Whoops.
But that did wrap up my time within the Shivering Isles. Of course, there's so much more to do in this DLC, and there's so many more side quests and missable content I could go and see. But at this point, I felt pretty happy with what I have seen, and I felt like the book couldn't really guide me anywhere further.
Man, this prophet do be yapping.
The last DLC the game guide wanted me to complete after the Shivering Isles was the Knights of the Nine. A simple yet fun adventure that had Baggy reform this ancient order of knights to help stop the rise of this Ayleid king. This DLC was the epitome of short and sweet, and might actually go down as one of my favorites, just mostly because I hated the fucking Skyrim version. Like just the Dawnguard, that smaller DLC, I hated that. That DLC sucked, okay? Serena, was that her name? She was the only good part of that, okay? Shout out to Laura Bailey.
But that's simply not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
When I started the game, one of the first rumors I ever even heard about was about this massacre in a chapel with an anvil. Pretty much all that happened was there was a murder in this chapel, and then there was this prophet spouting a bunch of crap.
This is only the beginning. Umaril has returned as foretold by Pelinal Whitestrake.
After I went and talked to him some more, he told me about this oncoming apocalypse, and if I were to make a pilgrimage, the gods would help me find some missing holy weapons and armor that could actually stop this oncoming doom. But of course, thanks to the game guide and fast travel, I was able to find all of these unmapped locations relatively quickly.
Hail, knight! You seek my relics with a worthy heart.
And then I was given one final location to follow for the Knights of the Nine Priory. This god in the sky pointed me towards the border of the map, and it's here where I found this underground tomb.
Whoa, okay, this is like some Assassin's Creed shit.
That housed the ghosts of the Nine.
Whoa. Hi.
I then had to prove my valor by killing each of them, again, in ghost form, one by one, 9 times. It was actually kind of just sad and funny how easy it was to fight these guys.
Come on, I make Sir Gregory my bitch.
But after all of my 1v1s, I made best friends with all the ghosts.
Step forward and claim what is yours by right.
Who told me about all the holy pieces of armor and weapons I would need to go find. I won't go into depth about every quest here, as the book didn't really reveal anything too interesting. But I will say that the vibes and the design for some of these quests were really fun, and it just felt like playing the best of Oblivion, as it just kept going from strength to strength where it could. One of the highlights of collecting all of these armors was for the gauntlet, where this gauntlet was stuck in this immovable state within a chapel, and the only way I could move it was by curing this curse from one of the poor knight's great-grandchildren. Also, I got jumped by these like Ayleid Daedras just mid-mission, and it was just absolutely crazy. I mean, like, look at these guys. They're terrifying. But after collecting all of these holy pieces of gear, some that were even better than my own, I returned to the Priory and entered the chapel. The Ayleid king that the Knights of the Nine tried to fight so long ago is returning, and now it was up to Baggy's newfound order to defeat it.
This you must do, and you must not fail.
So with this newfound plan and these holy relics, my knights and I stormed the ruin to face off against the Ayleids one last time.
Let's get them. Knights, to me. Oh, I see. They ain't dying. That's why. I need to grab that. Where is he? Oh, fuck. That's terrifying. Come on. Bitch.
After initially defeating him, I had to use a Being of Telos spell to travel into his realm and take him down again, hopefully putting down this Ayleid king forever. Here, in the same skybox we were sent to earlier, Baggy, the savior of Cyrodiil, the hero of the arena, the leader of every guild, and possible Daedric god, if they ever patch out that bullshit, slew the Ayleid king and saved the realm one last time.
No! Are you serious, man? Sorry, I let you down. Oh, bro, we kind of did that.
You're trapped in here with me, motherfucker.
Who did I murder? No one!
As for what you have done, it does not matter. That is not what you will be remembered for.
After slaying this god in the sky, I awoke to find out that I did in fact die during my original confrontation. But after my victory in the sky, I was resurrected several days later.
Then he is destroyed. We've won, and you're alive. I have to tell the others.
I left the Priory to the applause of all of my new knight brethren, and I returned back to Castle Bighorn, to a place not governed by the book guide, a place Baggy and I considered home.
This is the one place in the entire book that there's no information on. And I kind of think it's fitting that this video ends here.
Of course, there were still some more mini DLCs that I could explore. There was obtaining Mehrunes' razor, or fucking around with horse armor, and then of course finally purchasing all of the remaining properties.
What in the actual fuck is this?
But outside of the usual, the book guide never really had much more to say.
He played the entirety of Oblivion by the book. Yeah, there were a few snags, few issues, crazy shit happened, but we did it. Look at the stats, 71 hours to play the entirety of this game by the book, but it's done. I've actually finished it.
This was the end of Baggy's story.
It's over, Baggy. Sit by the fire. Enjoy it. I don't know if I'm ready for this to be over.
Truly, where do I even begin to start when I'm talking about my time with Oblivion? Honestly, when I started this video, after about like 5 or 6 hours in, I was ready to quit. I just simply wasn't enjoying this. Yeah, it was fun, the same way something new is fun for the first time you get it, but what this game guide asked me to do was pretty much the antithesis of everything I don't like doing, or honestly should be doing in an Elder Scrolls game. To be perfectly honest, it wasn't really until the second act where I started to even appreciate what this book was trying to get me to do, and when I finally remembered this obvious yet simple detail. This game and this book are still a product of its time. And yes, now within seconds, I could just go and look up where to find this thing, what this thing is, how to complete this, or how to get the best gear possible. But the archaic way I found the information felt rewarding in a different way than I was expecting. And when I say archaic, I mean just like flipping through a book. The scope of everything I could do in this game was right in front of me. Rather than searching the book because of a problem, I was searching the book for answers. Even towards the end of the game, the book guide became more of a companion piece to my adventure rather than do X thing to achieve X result. After playing all of this, I do truly believe that Oblivion has the most depth, decision making, and most believable world compared to Skyrim. And this book guide helped my ADHD brain slow it down and just appreciate it a little bit more. The fact that this remaster even exists and can be followed this accurately from a guide this outdated shows just how much love and accuracy went into this remaster, and excites me for a future where we could actually get a great Skyrim remaster. But ultimately, the main story was amazing. The factions were all well written and engaging, just like outside of the Fighters Guild. And the systems like spellcrafting, skill trees, and persuasion added more character depth and made the game feel like an actual RPG rather than just a video game. The Deadric Quests were awesome, the side quests were amazing, and the DLC just did all of that again but somehow even better. And it's just crazy to think about how many people would have skipped this game entirely if it wasn't for this remaster. I will never forget my adventure in Skyrim. For me and many others, it was the product of the right time, the right age, and the right place. Nothing can make you relive nostalgia or a time before an iPhone, or this interconnected world that we now live in. But as cringe as it is, playing Oblivion for the first time within this remaster, in this way, to me, felt pretty damn close. So now, as we stand atop this mountain, I do think it's fitting to see how my favorite game of all time holds up to this same game-guided experience. Wait, what? No, you can't make me. No, I'm not playing this shit again. Absolutely fucking not. I'm not doing it. You can't make me play Skyrim. It's not happening. Stop panning. It's not happening. Stop it. Man, holy shit. What a fucking adventure this has been. Just at the time of recording this, I've probably put like 100 hours plus into making this video, and I haven't even started to edit it. I can't thank each and every one of you enough just for watching this. I have no idea how long this video is gonna be, so if it's like 4+ hours, I'm sorry. If you even made it this far, even if you skipped the whole fucking video and got to this bit, congratulations, you get the heartfelt moment, the straight heart to heart from me, okay? I'm sorry that there's probably gonna be lore things that are wrong in this video, there's probably gonna be things I completely skipped, there's probably just gonna be shit that's edited weirdly, because I'm a one-man army here, okay? I'm a one-man team. But I can't thank each and every one of you enough, and I can't fucking believe this video is over. Whether this video gets fucking 8 million views, I don't give a fuck anymore. This was more of a passion project for me to show what I am truly capable of. I can't thank everyone enough. Everyone on this credits list I've got here that were probably playing, like that guy. Shout out to that guy. I don't know who that's gonna be, but shout out to them if you guys did enjoy. Please be sure to leave a sub, share this video, like this video, comment on this video, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like. Please be sure to check out some of my other videos, like this Days Gone re-review, and my look at Tom Clancy's The Division. And hopefully, when I'm done making it, my next insane super project, where I play 100 matches of League of Legends, where I go to esports cafes, play with Riot devs, and even fly to Korea in order to complete my matches. But yeah, if you guys have any other games you'd like to see get a similar game-guided treatment, let me know, and I'll have a look at it down below. But if you did enjoy it, hell yeah, stay tuned. Oh, thank fuck it's over. Jesus Christ. It's actually done. I'm gonna cry. Oh, why am I crying? It's not even done yet. I still have to edit. Womp womp.